Hello, Scrabble Land. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Beth. How are you doing?
Good. Hey, welcome to all the Let's Play Scrabble people and everybody interested in Scrabble and the throngs of people who want to watch Scrabble today. Matt, how are you today?
I am doing just fine. Thanks for asking. I'm checking in from Philadelphia. I moved here yesterday. So still doing some unpacking. Just got back from the grocery store, cooked my first meal in my new kitchen. So exciting stuff. I'll be in Philly for 2.5 months. If you're in the area or know anybody else, hit me up. Looking to play a lot of Scrabble this summer. I'm doing just fine. How are you, Beth?
I'm great. I'm coming to you from Connecticut, and I got nothing more to say about that. So, who have we got on deck to play Scrabble today?
Looks like our first game, we've got Crane Spanier against Heather McCall. So quite a bit of history between those two. Looking forward to a good game between them. Do you know those players, Beth?
I really don't. What can you tell me?
They're super sweet, both of them. They live in the Toronto area. They're more than happy to host little Scrabble nights at their place, get people together, bring some food, maybe a couple brews, and have a good time. I've been to many of those. Look forward to going to more when I'm back in the Toronto area. We'll see some good Scrabble today and some nice folks as well.
Now, is it all right for me to say I'm going to root for Heather?
I suppose it is, but you've got to have a compelling reason.
Well, I'm sure you know my reason.
I
I'm always rooting for the women of Scrabble.
think you and a lot of other folks out there for sure. Me too, honestly. It's great. And there's been a lot of younger female blood coming up in the Scrabble ranks recently too. I had the pleasure of meeting Agnes Kramer recently from the Hamilton area.
She
She
is
is
coming up.
fiery. She is fun, and man, she is underrated right now. Wow, the score sheet said she was 1,500 or so. She did not play me like one, not for a second. So always exciting to see that.
Yeah, and Chloe, of course, and Hannah Lieberman is on her way up. There are
Absolutely.
women coming. I
Absolutely.
recently finally broke 1,500, but I would say I am not underrated, but I have scratched and clawed my way to get there.
Yes, yeah, the grind, the hustle. I started Scrabble, Jesus, 17 years ago or so, and yes, it is a grind, it is a hustle. You claw your way, but every single game you play, you get just a little bit wiser. You pick up a couple new things, learn a new word, and it starts to add up.
Well, lately it's all been about the fives to me, the fives.
Oh yeah,
I'm
are you
jumpy, I'm dizzy, I'm many things.
are you studying the fives or
I
just
am.
picking them up?
No, I'm studying.
Excellent.
Um, Aerolith is my best friend.
Oh yeah, yeah. Many hours on Aerolith. It takes you a long way though, and I mean that shows in your rating, right? You're at a brand new peak. Do you find it's hard to play at a new peak rating? You find it harder to sign up for tournaments?
Actually, it's great. I'm usually at the very bottom of the A, which is the perfect spot for me. I love it. And I feel good about winning a game or two. So, you know, and of course, the competition is more difficult and I would say more interesting, but it's always interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I remember my first Division One tournament. I felt like I was in a different league, and everybody ran down to the last like 30 seconds on their clock, which was unfamiliar to me and uncomfortable to me. I think it was like 16 or 15 at the time, and couldn't focus through a game. But it's a slightly different culture, but also usually a nice one and a great opportunity to pick up some new words.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm trying to think of some of the ones that got hammered on me. The problem is, of course, that when I haven't seen a word, my question is always I have a crisis of confidence of, well, these players are better than me, so they should know it. But of course, they're better than me and they know they're better than me, and it is perfectly reasonable for them to say, well, I'll get one over. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, yeah. That tournament I played, my first one in a while was up in Niagara Falls. Jason and Sue's. It's a great tournament, by the way. If you're ever thinking about going, I strongly endorse it. But yeah, I was in a situation where I'm just rusty, and I know my rating is big, but my word knowledge maybe not so much right now, with school and all that. But I had a couple words, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna try them. But that's a lot of fun too. It puts the onus on the other player. Hey, you decide if this is good or not, because I know, or rather, I don't know, and I won't know. But it scores 74, so let's try it.
That's what I love about NWL. I just love the challenge rule.
I do too. I honestly, I would love to see Scrabble switch to almost a tennis style major set, where you know how in tennis they've got the French Open on clay, they've got the Australian Open on, I believe it's they're all on different surfaces, right? And I'd kind of like to see some of that with Scrabble, with our time rule. First off, maybe some tournaments it's 20, some it's 30, and then also the challenge. You know, one tournament in double, one in single, maybe one in void or 5 point. You know, I'd like to see it all. Just it forces you to play a different game. It forces you to take different risks with the words you do or don't know, and different risks with your challenges as well. And I think the best players are the ones who can be flexible like that.
That is really interesting. Yes. So instead of us being specialists, we should try to be generalists.
And I think that would also encourage some cross lexical play. You know, some people say, I don't mind the extra words in CSW, but I mind the challenge rule. Or some people
Right.
say, you know, I don't mind the NWL, but I mind having everything challenged off. And, you know,
Yep.
to each their own. But I think we could use a little bit more of that in Scrabble. Looks like we're underway here. And I just want to say hello to the chat real quick as well. If you're in the chat, say hello, give us a shout out, and we'll be trying to engage with you periodically. Crane is going first, and it looks like right away he has picked up on a blank in addition to some clunky stuff here. So
Oh,
he's, yeah. What do you think about this,
and yet
Beth?
I think that I look at Heather's rack and think I have seen that rack way too many times.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Now, if I were Heather, I think I would be thinking of a trade here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to wait and see what Crane puts out, obviously. But I think the standard play, if she were going first, would be to trade. Looks like our clocks are going backwards on the set right now. Heather's was running, but Crane had the first move and took it. So I think we'll get that fixed on our stream real quick. But yeah.
Yes.
So Crane goes first. He puts down hork, which I believe is a verb. Someone can check me on that. Scores 22 points, picks up a little bit. And what do you think about those floaters that he's left out for Heather? Do you think she's going to make a play like Owry, or do you think she'll go ahead and do the exchange anyway?
Let's see if she makes our
Oh, looks like we got
oh
a challenge.
challenge.
Yeah, I believe
Oh,
Hork is a new four that was added maybe 2018 or something like that. So I could see a challenge on that word too.
well, it looks like we don't have to wonder if Heather is going to trade.
We
I
still
don't
may. We'll see what Crane picks up. Four consonants, and he's changing right back.
I don't love the VM.
No, no, nobody does. But I think in that situation, you've got to play Hork rather
Yeah,
than exchanging. Ugh.
sure.
Oh,
Oh,
he's Mavenly drawn into Maven and then some other good stuff. I think he sees
oh,
Varmint right away.
beautiful.
Well spotted. Good job, Crane.
Varmint, excellent.
He's got
Does
the
he?
R as well to play through, make varmints. He'll probably have
Right.
a few other words as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see him put some time into this. Again, Heather's clock is running right now, but I believe after the challenge, assuming we're playing double, it is Crane's turn right now. A vermint, I believe, is good through the R as well.
I wonder if he's looking at vehement
He
with
would
the
need,
H.
with the A, he's not going to be able to spell that, but he might have an, an alternative or off spelling of it.
Ah, yes.
I'm not seeing anything with that H. It doesn't mean there isn't anything there. It just means I'm not good enough to see it. Potential for some interesting man or men words on this rack as well.
Okay, it looks like the clocks are correct
Yes,
now.
clocks have been amended. They're correct. And Crane's turn is underway as well. I would guess eventually, after some thinking, we see Varmint here. I'm not immediately seeing anything with the O, which could be higher scoring. I don't see any opportunities for sevens to play for some overlaps. And so I think Varmints is probably what's going to come down here. though. Playing on stream, playing for the internet is always extra tough. You always end up taking extra time on these racks when you wouldn't otherwise do it. Beth, have you played on stream?
I've never played on stream now.
Oh, it is it's a mind game on top of, the Scrabble that you already have to play.
A vermint?
A Vermint is good. Yep. A Vermint and Varmint
Yeah,
are all I've
vermints.
really seen.
So when you're playing on stream, does that make you second guess yourself more? Do you worry about it or do you just forget it?
For me, it's always the second guessing. It's, stuff that I would normally not even think twice about over a board, where all of a sudden I'm like, I go from being 99% sure that's a word to 95 or 90. It gets in my head. I'm also terrible on stream. I think I'm like 1 in 6 lifetime. Um,
Oh,
so, I'm not maybe the best one to be giving advice on how to play on stream, but yeah, just especially at the nationals, knowing dozens or hundreds of people, even thousands on some of the best days are watching. It is
right.
it's challenging, and knowing there's commentators tearing you apart right now. And for that reason, I always try to be very nice and gracious as a commentator.
Oh,
Uh,
he's not bingo.
Yeah, maybe forewent the bingo there. Definitely not for strategical reasons, but as we said on stream, every 90%, every 99% turns into a 90%. I could easily see somebody thinking the only varmint spelling is with an I. You hear Yosemite Sam's voice, oh, I'm going to shoot that varmint, what
Terrific
is that
lead
vowel sound at the
anyway.
end?
And terrific, unmeant, unmated, untamed.
Double N's there is going to make it a little
Oh
tougher.
yeah, I'm reading it wrong. Forgive me.
And Heather is got
Oh,
to be not excited about those bingo options. Granted, she doesn't know Crane's got him, but she's still sitting on garbage. It looks like she is going to go ahead and throw back 5 there instead of trying to fight through. Something like EAU underneath Hork would still hold IIOS. You don't need a leave
yeah.
like that. So Heather electing to throw back here, keep things nice and balanced, and maybe she'll get a good shot to counter winner if Crane plays a bingo out of this rack.
Oh, and I like her letters much better now.
Oh yeah, let's see. Oh, much better. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice draw for Heather out of a good exchange and a necessary exchange.
Yeah.
Unmeant for Crane is not gonna fit.
Yeah. I think that's the only
Trunkman.
seven there.
Yeah. Wonder if Trunkman is good. I
Hmm.
would play it,
Trunk
but
man?
Trunkmen. I would play anything though. If you those who know me, who have played against me, I'll try anything.
I don't like trunk man. But there are some kooky words.
There are some kooky words. I wonder what kooky word we're gonna find out of this rack.
Let's see. Yeah, it's not a lot of. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a bingo here.
Yeah, it looks like we got nothing. I mean, Crane doesn't know that, but Crane's gonna have to spend a lot of time again. This is where I'd already be in my own head on the stream. Like, man, 2 bingo racks where I may or may not have one, and everybody
Yeah.
else sees it except for me. Like, it's hard. It's hard.
Uh,
It will be interesting to see what he decides to do. Did he exchange?
it looks
Looks
like
like
he did.
looks like he exchanged as well. All right, we're keeping things tight. We're keeping
Okay.
this board shut down. And he
All right.
picks up
So,
000 on the exchange.
ooh.
Ooh, is correct. Ooh, ouch.
Okay, so back to Heather.
So it looks like she's looking at rechased, which is not valid, but we'll see if it comes down. Again, just because something is not valid does not mean it's not a word for the sakes of the game you're currently playing. It's a word if your opponent doesn't say the word challenge. So we'll see. Rechased. And then that's going to put Crane in a tough position. If she plays Rechased, he's going to have to try to figure out, am I bingoing back through that or am I exchanging that?
That is going to be interesting. Yeah, that R is in the wrong place for searched.
Rechased would give back words like Oreo don't or wood tone, wood note. So definitely going to have to decide, do I challenge this word or do I just bingo for 80 back through it? Um, yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
Heather's got a
right.
lot to think about. And then
Yeah,
Crane's going to have a lot to think about. Yeah, she's seen searched now, but unfortunately, no Vanna in this game. That's only Wheel of Fortune. These have been some tough racks. Bingo E, but maybe not quite, bingos. And then if you're Heather too, there's one extra complexity here. You have no idea what Hork is if you've just challenged it. So, does it take the S? Do
ah,
I find a word that makes an S? How certain am I that it takes an S? So that's going to be another dynamic she's got to play with.
that's a really interesting consideration that I hadn't even thought of.
Yeah, yeah, it's probably going through her head right now. And if I'm Crane, I love this situation because I know what goes at the end of Hork. Probably, I'm excited too, but does she know?
And it looks
So
like hork means to spit.
to spit, yeah, hawk, hawk. I think it's an
Hawk.
alternate spelling of like Hoick and all of that.
Mm,
Hork. Just how many different sounds are there to generate a loogie in your mouth and
yeah.
chuck it out on the sidewalk?
Okay. Heard. Okay. Well, she's got a terrific leave.
And that is going
So
to keep
heard.
things nice and tight. It doesn't look like it's going to give back any of those, Oreo don't or wood tone, wood note plays. But Crane's got a really nice little bailout. I think Ono and Oho is pretty obviously the play here. Just get rid of two of those three O's that you just picked up on your three tile draw. I still think that's pretty incredible. Oh,
Yeah.
he's going to go a little longer. He'll play Hoot here, sacrificing a few points, playing off the tee, but he'll get a different board shape because of it. I definitely would have kept things tight with Oho in that situation myself. But maybe he's got a tell on Heather. Maybe he knows she's bingo prone and is trying to get her to fling one all the way out into that triple lane. Maybe he just doesn't like tees, or maybe there's something else going on. But Hoot is what he's decided to play
Mhm.
there. And wow,
And
opposites.
huh, and you pry a tea out of my hands. I love teas.
Right. Yeah. I'm all about holding consonants when I can as well.
Now she's teed up papacies. That's not a word, is it?
I just had to look it up. It is not. It's nice when you have the dictionary in your hand.
Mm.
But again, will you try it?
It
Will you try
sounds,
apicee?
yeah, it sounds a little plausible, something to do
Yeah.
with the Pope.
Right. Papacies, maybe.
Yeah.
Papacies, Papacies, I believe is the spelling. All of a sudden, and then she's got to have to decide if she's not bingoing, and it's looking more and more like she's not bingoing to her and to us because we know what kind of leave does she want to keep. You can keep something like space or scape, which is potentially a little more stable, but then you're only playing two tiles and probably not going to score as much. You just have to drop like a PI or a PA somewhere. So do you want to play longer? Do you want to play pipe? Do you want to play cape or pace somewhere? Then you're destabilizing your rack, but you're able to score a little bit more. It's going to be a tough turn for her. Lots of options that are probably very similar to one another. She's also potentially got plays to extend Hork and score more points there. Anything standing out to you, Beth?
Well, I don't know. What do you think about it, like I'm looking at the PIP.
Yeah,
I
yeah. I think we're playing underneath Hoot,
Yeah,
or
or,
maybe on
or
top of
above
Hoot
it.
as a pick.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's good. So she's
Oh,
going Pica instead. Okay.
I I would be a little nervous about playing that A. Although I guess I'm always worried that the Z is still out and
Right. I mean, you can't play the game Paranoid, but you have to play the game Paranoid at the same time. I mean, if you don't put the A down, they get to backhook pick with whatever, their heart desires. They've almost certainly got a backhook for it. So if you
that's
put it there, then you're taking away the 8 points of overlap that they're allowed. You could
and look
just draw the Z like Heather's
and
decided
like she
to.
just did, right?
That's that maybe is the next level strategy then. Set up the Z, draw
And
the
then
easy
draw
one,
the Z.
and then crush the spot.
See, this is what the higher level players understand that
Draw the stuff.
I draw the stuff. Now, I'm having a hard time seeing on Crane's rack. I see OEGEN blank. What's the other letter?
It's EEGNOR blank.
R. Okay. Oh, and we're seeing a bingo come down. Oh,
Did I miss something? Did
I
did
was just going to ask you,
Yeah,
did
I feel like Heather just played, and then did
Heather
Crane like
did,
sneaky
didn't she?
exchange when I wasn't paying attention? I might have missed it. I'm not sure why Heather went again, but that seems to be what happened. Did we get a challenge on Panko?
Yeah, Crane traded is
Crane
my,
traded. Gotcha. Okay.
I that was a quick trade.
A super speedy exchange. I wasn't even paying attention to his rack. I was trying to figure out what Heather was going to do with that Apices rack. But looks like Heather hits her bingo real quick. Nice find with baptizes. So rather than cashing the Z with Zip and Za, she goes ahead and cashes it harder and hits a whole bingo.
Terrific. And generous comes down from Crane. I
Blank will
assume
be a
that's
U.
you.
So all of a sudden, from nothing, 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 and a tight board and a frustrating game, we've flung it wide open, hit both of the blanks, thrown some bingos out there. Heather's is significantly higher scoring than Crane's because of the Z or the Z as they would say it.
Mhm.
And now we've got a game, a shootout maybe even. Heather's last play was interesting. Do you play baptizes or do you just play zip, holding what EST blank? Zip is
Uh,
50 points. EST blank, you've set up the S in a triple, but it's always fun to bingo with a Z too. And baptizes scored 86.
And what a leave for if she had played the zip. Terrific leave.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but with his tiles,
Yeah.
it would have probably not worked out well for her. I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have. Anyway, I totally see that option.
This is fun for Heather too. I mean, she probably just wants to put down as many consonants as she can. Cliff through the I and baptizes is kind of the no-brainer play, but obviously there's the S hook that it would open up and possibilities for 70, 80, 90 point plays coming down. And Crane indeed does have the S. Now we know that and she doesn't, but wow, that's spicy. Uh-oh. Okay. I was like, is her finger
Oh,
frozen or is she thinking very hard about this? But it seems to be the latter.
hmm.
So she'll play Fend. Totally reasonable. I don't think you can play Cliff in that situation. Still holding another CLFN though. We'll see if she's able to pick up a couple vowels and get out of this situation or not.
And
Nope.
no.
There's
Oh,
one.
one.
One is better than zero, but we would have liked to see a couple more.
And Crane knows exactly. Oh, no, he changed his mind.
Hmm.
He was thinking of playing down from the E.
This looks like a situation where you could just play boy on top of generous, hold ALSM. It's very
Yeah.
solid there, score very well. I wonder if that's. It looked like he picked up like the A and the M, so I don't know. Plays down from the E and generous makes sense as well. I don't see anything that stands out as super high scoring. Like I can't pass this up. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm just now
boy.
checking on the chat, but it looks like the chat definitely agrees with zip over baptizes. So So we'll see. We'll see if Heather's strategy works out for her in the end.
I forgot to even check the chat. Ah, there goes boy.
All right. So boy is going to come down. Sometimes racks just play themselves. Like, that's probably one of the best leaves you could think of on this rack, ALMS. You can score a bunch of points with boy, too. It's what, 35? Goodness, yeah. Yeah, sometimes racks just play themselves. Sometimes Scrabble's easy. But you've got to find those plays. You've got to do them correctly. You want to make sure you play boy and not something like Yom in the same spot. Make sure you maximize your points. Alumnus is not quite
Alumnus.
there. Alumnus is two U's, but close. Maybe there's Illuminas. I don't know if Illumina takes the S.
I think it does.
I should know how to spell alumnus. Granted, I have graduated from college twice now, but okay. So alumna is the six, but that is the plural of alumnus, the US. There is a seven in this rack, and it's a word we all know. But I don't think it fits on the board anyway.
With the manuals.
It is manuals. That's correct. Yeah. So it's not going to fit on the board as far as I see. There actually is an 8 through the D, and it's one I didn't know at all. I just had to cheat to
Wow.
find it. So chat's probably already got it figured out. If not, somebody's going to spoil it in there real quick. So this is your warning to try to figure out the playable 8 through the D. If you know it, great. If you don't, you're just like me. So don't worry about it. And I sincerely doubt Crane's going to spot this word too. It's a wild one. Now he spots manuals, and he'll quickly realize he has no spot to put it. Sad day. It's interesting. When Heather played Fend, she could have played Fond. It would have been the same score, it just would have been through the O, and perhaps would have been a little more defensive, taking away options like Boy. But Fond does take the back U, Fondu. So it's interesting that her choice of Fend ended up defending from a bingo.
Mhm.
So, although it did give up the second one that I think we're going to see missed. Alumna, alumni, alumni, alumnus. Yes.
Okay, so icon comes down.
Yeah, no good options on that
Mhm.
turn. Maybe Philo, Fillo. I don't know if that's a word, but I would have played it there and made my opponent decide. It is a word. So Philo would have been a cool way to unclog that rack, but it is a tough to spot 5. Is that one that you've studied recently, Beth?
Yes, and I know it from cooking. It's another way. It's another way to spell phyllo pastry. I think it's
Oh,
phyllo.
Philo. Okay, I didn't realize it was another spelling of it. I love Philo pastry.
Isn't it delicious?
It is, man. If you cook it right and you get that crispy, crunchy, flaky, oh yeah. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah. So Crane is just looking at manuals and lamenting.
Yes.
And there, done that, packed to lunch.
Let's see. Has chat spoiled the no, so the chat has not spoiled the bingo through the D. It is a 7 plus an S at the end, so sort of a baby bingo, but it's a strange 7. Maybe should I know this word? Is it an element? No, okay.
Have we talked about Matt's background?
Oh, yeah, so it looks like I've got this virtual background behind me, but this is actually just legit the wall of my Airbnb, um, which is wild. I've thought of that as soon as I sat down. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so
okay.
Crane, sometimes it's hard to get a word out of your brain. If you see manuals, sometimes it's hard to not just play most of those letters, right? And so
Absolutely.
I was curious to see if Crane would do that when I saw the spot for the six. It scores almost nothing, but sometimes you just become blind to everything else, and so that's what he's going to do. Ooh, nice play for Heather here. So
Oh, that's nice.
maybe she chose to hold on to FLL on purpose. Maybe she figured with an E or an A draw, I can crush that spot next turn. Um, there's a good chance playing off three tiles you're going to pick up one of those two. Probably looking at her tracking, she realizes as well. Nice play. Nice play. Generally, FLL really clunky together, but in this case here, worked out very well. She smashed that spot for 45. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Good play.
terrific. Nice leave. And oh, and she draws the X.
Ooh, let's see. Is there some fun stuff? We'll get something. We'll get ticks on top of manual or underneath manual, probably. Ilex with Befell. She'll have a play. A Crane demonstrating one of the textbook rules of Scrabble. If you play a U, you will draw the Q. Now, he did
That
draw
is,
another U to go with it, which is nice, but, it feels inevitable. Oh, this was a
uh,
fun turn for Crane.
yeah,
Does he play QUOD over there, or does he set up the S that he has by playing QUAD with manual? It's tough
right.
because to Crane, there are still two other unseen S's. One on the board, one on his rack, two unseen. But does Heather have one? And with X's, it's always more likely than not that your opponent is sitting on one because S's are great. People don't play them unless they're going to cash them for a ton of points. So that was a fun turn. Crane could have tried to set himself up, but elects to play more conservatively. And Heather's going to crush the spot exactly like we thought. Ibex, great play. Undouble the I's, undouble the E's, score a bunch. Really strong play. It's
Yeah.
got to be correct. And Heather's going to shoot into the lead after that. There's kind of been some back and forth punches in this game, right? We got the bingo bango back to back, and then we cashed the Q and the X both for big scores back to back. And now Crane's got some interesting stuff. Vrows and Fens kind of looks like the easy way to get rid of this. VROWS, which I believe is like a name for a woman in some language.
Is that what Vrow is? VROW?
I believe so. I know it's the same thing as VROUW, the alternate
Yes.
spelling. But yeah, if you see two R's, a V, and a W, you're probably playing Vrow or Waver, and Vrow is what came down here. Heather, stop drawing vowels. What are you doing?
Oh, geez, Heather.
Ooh. You've seen that rack before too, right, Beth?
I have actually.
The first
Um,
rack of every tournament I feel like I ever play, right? Oh man. Okay, another tough decision for Heather. Do we try to fight through this garbage or do we just get rid of it?
no, and
She
what she
does have
doesn't know is Craig is being plagued by eyes.
Yes, wow. Yeah. So both kind of dealing with some bad racks. Heather can score some points. She can play ace through the C and icon and score like 25 or something. Oh, more. Yeah, 25, 25. It
Oh,
still hold
yes.
AAEIT, but like, wow, for this rack, that kind of score? Or do we just throw it back?
Nice close game.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to give up a turn when you're up by two.
Right.
So Ace will keep us in the lead, but for how long?
I actually love that ace play.
Yeah, I think you just got to keep scoring points here. It is what I would play. That doesn't mean anything. Nobody should listen to me. I'm mediocre at Scrabble, but
If I saw it, I would play it in a heartbeat.
so we're two for two on
Uh,
commentator agreeing, and there it is. Good ace. I think we like that play. Got to score some points in a tight one like this, especially with no bingo lanes left. Sometimes games feel like whoever bingo's left next wins, but unless we hit something from the L's and be fell or get a perfect fit on top of manual, like maybe an eight through the R and Vrows. I don't know, but yeah, it's
now,
it's
this
not
is
going to be next bingo wins.
chat says Vrouw is a woman in Dutch. And my question is, why isn't Frau good then? I always want Frau to be good.
Yeah, Frau.
Yes,
Yeah,
that one.
but we got the longer spelling, right? Frau Lane or Frau Lion.
Right,
I'm not so sure.
Fraulein.
So, all right, that's a super standard play. TT, TITI coming down with QI. That's what you have to do in this situation if you're Crane. I don't think there's much else to even think about. And Heather picks up one more consonant, which is one more than she could have. So that's good. We'll see if she's able to work out of these bad racks now. And I mean, this is the problem with making a play like ace is, well, what if I don't get out? Next turn, I'm scoring bad, and possibly even the turn after that. But she needed those points. I would have made the same play. And maybe she'll be able to find some overlaps, uh, something on top of manual, perhaps, making tax or max. Yeah, this is anybody's game at this point. Both blanks are out, so we don't have to worry about next blank wins. Probably not going to see another bingo come down. This is going to come down to pre-end game, to rack management, to rack balance, and to crushing the right spots. Wow, Crane's drawn rejigger. If he had a floating in, or a floating G rather, rejigger would be super nice.
Is there anything coming down? I don't know. You probably don't want to open up the board at this time anyway, but anything coming down to that U from the triple? No.
No, not particularly. Looks like she's picking up item to stack, holding A. But let's look
Mm.
at how many A's are on the board. I believe those are the last three. One, two, three, four, five. One more A to be drawn in addition to the three she has. So never want to hold three of the same letter, but that is a ton of points, and we've emphasized how important it is to score points in a tight, close game and not really going to draw more. So that helps. Now, there are other vowels that she can draw, and it looks like she's elected to do so. EIOU on the pull. That's awful. So in that
Oh,
case, hey, if you're changing anyway, good thing she took the points, right?
okay. And Crane has this J to contend with. I see Jeer at the bottom off
Yeah.
of zero, bro.
Yeah. Jeer. Man, it's not a lot, though. He can keep
Um,
things really tight and play JIN and GI underneath generous. He can play Jeer.
oh, yeah.
But not too much else, honestly. Sheesh. Rebaptizes. It's 20
Ooh,
points. Ooh, that
interesting.
would be a way to balance out the rack and throw some stuff open. But hey,
Rebaptizes for those people who found Jesus and then lost him and then found him again.
or found a different type of Jesus. Some people switch from one church to another. And I guess you would get
Sure.
rebaptized into your new one, right?
Yes, you would, wouldn't you?
I suppose so. I mean, you can come up with a definition for any word you want. It's just a matter of if someone decided to put it in the book or not. But it seems like that one is in there. So 20 points. Fun little extension. Make a 10. While we're looking at extensions, I wonder if over generous is good. Make a 12. Why not?
Wow. I think overgenerous is good. Now, item has a couple of front hooks. Oh, hmm.
Oh, yeah. So jig. Jig is going to come down, score a bunch of points. EERR is the leave there. Let's see how many R's can still be drawn. I see three on the board, so one in the bag. If he draws it, he'll be in trouble, but we already know Heather's in trouble, so all
Well,
right. There's a rack, readers and all the other ones.
yeah,
Red ears,
that
readers,
is beautiful
rereads.
rack.
And yet, I don't think anything's going to come of it.
Too too late.
Heather probably lamenting, oh God, do I play Louis for 6 points? Do I score some and hold the vowels? She's finding a good spot. NAOI with Zeta is going to come down. That's nice. 18
Lovely.
points. Gotta keep scoring. And it crucially does not give back readers or rereads bingos that I see.
There's no bingo from L. No.
I don't think so. I'm not seeing anything here. So now what do you do if you're Crane? I think he's got to make a decision now of, am I bingoing to win this game, or am I just trying to score and hope that I can catch up?
How many are left in the bag?
I don't know that right
We
now.
don't have access to that information, huh?
I guess we don't. Yeah, maybe if this game is being quackled, it might pop up soon, and if not, well, we'll do our best with the information we have and see if Crane's able to sneak this one out. He's going to have to make up 31 points. It is his turn.
Uh,
That's nice.
it looks like TWL players are not able to rebaptize, according to chat.
Oh, oh no, it
So,
looks like a JIRRE might be what they're talking about there.
uh,
It's, the J5. Crane's got to be kicking himself like, this rack looks so prone. I see stuff. There's got to be something, right? Look through the E, look through the R. And sorry, but I did. It's not there. All right, we're hearing from the admin team. Tracking's not set up in this demonstration, so no tracking, and we will just watch with popcorn and see what they're able to think of.
that is fine.
Not a problem. We're all here hanging out on a beautiful Sunday. Well, I hope it's beautiful where y'all are. Definitely here in Philly.
Now, there is that other bingo lane to that R, but he's still got two R's.
It would have to be
Zeros.
through the R, like an ERS word. It's possible, but with two other R's, it's tough.
So many R's.
Oh man, if I'm Crane in this situation, I'm probably going to play Horker. Which I don't believe is good, but if you've already won a turn on the word, you want to fish ER here. Why not? She's not going to
Why
challenge it in
not?
that tight game. I'd play Horker.
I think that is very smart. I don't think it's good, but
I mean, other options, if you feel like you need a bingo to win here, you can play ED and ID underneath IBEX. Open the lane, hold AERRS. Usually players are averse to hold those double letters, but two R's with the AES is actually fine. It's actually stronger. I've seen Nigel make an exchange on the first turn, choosing to hold EIRRS over EIRS, and it was
wow.
correct. But it's just because it stabilizes the rack so much. Your bingo percentage is about 10% higher the next turn. So, not the worst idea. But if you play ED next to IBEX or something like that, your opponent just smashes a triple for 45, closes a line, and you lose. So you'd have to do something a little bit sneakier, something kind of like this. Yeah, play off AR somewhere or ER somewhere. Don't really open the board and try to fish for something from that L or through the R and browse. I think that's the right idea here. Maybe would have been ideal to score a little bit more, but this board is tight. Weeders is what he's going to draw. So still no spot as far as I know. And Heather did crucially pick up a couple consonants. I think she would have rather they scored some points, but an R and a T after the horrific draws she's been fighting through. Welcome sight. Welcome sight in either case.
Absolutely.
So a lit for Heather if she's tracking properly. That was the last A unseen to her. So that's I'm a little confused if I see that come down. Like if you play AR, what else are you holding? You expect them to hold AR and some other good stuff, but it was a last A. So she could probably pin him on an E, an R, some other decent stuff. If he's electing to score 6 points last turn, he's probably very close to a bingo. But unfortunately, Heather can't block at all. She'd like to if she could, but she can't. So she's going to have to decide what's the biggest threat to me now. Do I want to block the floaters in Befell, the ELL? Do I want to block the R in Voraus? Do I want to block nothing and just try to keep scoring? If he bingos, he bingos. Tough choice.
I mean, even that S that Crane has is a great S to have for the quads play. This game is so close.
Yeah, and that S is also, I think, going to be very large for the Vrow's spot. ERS bingos are the best way for him to win this game. And with the S, well, he's got the draws for it. If I'm Heather, I think I'm playing something like RAI next to Biffel. It's only 11 points, but it gets rid of some of those vowels. It blocks those lanes. The X is out, so I'm not worried about a lax play. And you just want to start blocking the lines. You block that one first. If you can block Vrow's next turn, this game is effectively over. You just keep blocking anything else after that. It puts the pressure on Craig. I'm sorry, on Crane. He'll have to open the board. Um,
And explain to me why you think it's more important, or you would think it was more important to block the Befell lane rather than the Rouse lane.
I don't. I think the Vrow's lane would be better. I just don't see a good way to do it.
Okay.
Um, so, ooh, Adieu is a really cool play. Wow, really
Really, I
cleans up
like
that rack.
that.
Nice
Ruble,
play.
that's really lovely.
Uh, so looks like she is electing to. I mean, she is blocking the E and one of the L's, but if you're hitting one, you're hitting the other. But wow, such a good play. Scores well enough. Beautifully cleans up that rack. And Crane is not going to have a bingo this turn. So we'll see if he's able to get one at all. If you're Crane now, EWE plays underneath Vrows for a ton, still holds
Yep.
DERS, but it knocks out your last line. So EWE is you taking off the gloves and saying, all right, it's you and me, mano a mano, close down board. I've got good stuff. Let's see. But Heather, wow, Saltern, Rentals, Antlers, all those bingos.
Now, can she bingo down to that V row, or can she?
No,
No.
no. So both of them with very bingo prone racks, but that's what's happened to the board, sort of by design by both of them. They're not going to work. So,
And
ooh,
we
this is
have to be close to the end of the game.
we have to be. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how many are in the bag. It looks like from chat someone said 6 in the bag.
Nice.
So I don't know. EWE, if that's correct, would leave 3 in the bag, which is about what you want to do in a pre-end game like this. You're leaving 3 in the bag is the best way to try to guarantee you go out first. EWE under Vrow's scores 27.
That's
So that actually makes this a really tight game. You're only down 11.
oh.
Oh, Weeder. Okay. So he's going to play Weeder instead, I think. Score significantly more.
Oh. And Saltern is going to come down then.
Ooh,
No, not
no,
quite.
it's not quite gonna fit. Yeah,
No, not
okay. If that were
close.
if that were Ilex, we can make Silex and hit Saltern, but not quite. Let's see. Crane's draw is gonna be huge here. GUY. He's gonna want a rack that certainly allows him to go out in 2 and will threaten some points in the process. Oh, it looks like maybe that's it. Maybe that
It
was the
looks like that's
bag.
it.
So in that case, okay, knowing that there are only 3 tiles in the bag, I think Crane actually made a good play there. You want to do everything you can to guarantee you go out next turn. He has drawn Sergi next to NAOI, so that's going to threaten an out. That allows him to win the game immediately if it's not blocked or if it's not outrun.
Or
So,
Gyrus.
oh yeah, Gyrus as well. Yeah, Gyrus is even an additional point. Are there other spots for them to make those plays? I can't see the top right of the board. So
Oh, you're having that issue also?
yes, I am.
Okay.
But I don't think there's anything notable up there. So Gyrus Sergi, just the one spot. Has Heather tracked? Has she tracked correctly? And has she spotted that those are his only plays? She can block them and easily win with any out in 2 sequence, or she could just simply outrun them. I think some of the plays on top of item might get her there. Or Alter next to Weeder. I'm not sure that would do it. Alter is 13, 18. She's already up 10. That put her up 28, 24. Yeah, so even just like Alter next to Weeders, I think we'll win by 3. Um,
This was a good game.
yeah, it was a great game. It
They
was
both
lots.
had their bouts of rough luck.
Yeah, Heather fought
Final
through Val
distribution
for
was
many
pretty
different turns.
reasonable. Yeah.
Crane fought through O on a fish.
Mhm.
So definitely, and then fighting through eyes later on. But good points, good bingos, good ideas. I really still like that Befell play. I think that's going to be the difference in this game.
I like that play where she snuck in the ace. I thought that was,
Oh yes, and then Adieu too. Just putting on a
yeah,
clinic on how to clean up these racks, fight through them.
yeah, classy playing. So looks like Heather is,
Oh, Sterna would be awesome next to Weeders, Sterna, with 4 overlaps. That's well, I mean the best way, the best spread play is probably just dropping the S or something quads, knockout Sergi, hold good stuff. Um, Probably a ton of bingo or a ton of ways to win this game though. Just score enough or block Sergi.
well, again, I'm not this great at this game, but what if she threw down the S and on the quads?
Yeah, yeah, that would block Sergi. That'd be a good play and almost certainly win. Now she wouldn't go out in two, unless like Antler or something that would fit next to it. I think would get blocked almost every time in an ideal
But 21
situation.
points.
Yeah, if she's just trying to score too, play underneath Weeder and Vrau, just play SEA. It's 24. I think that wins the game too. But yeah, I think just blocking Sergi playing quads is reasonable if you've got it tracked right. If you're certain of Sergi, there's a lot of
Heather's,
ifs here, and she's in time trouble.
I was just going to say she's down to her last minute. Oh, interesting.
Is that going to do it? Lean 17.
Huh.
So that's going to put her up 27 with 6 on her rack, and Gyrus scores 21. So Gyrus ties. Sergi loses by 1, if my math is correct.
Okay, now if he does play that, I'm stuck on that stupid quad thing, but if he plays that, she doesn't have an outplay, does she?
Well, if he
I
just
guess.
plays Gyrus, he would. Oh, if he drops the S only, yeah. I
Can he
don't think.
win? She doesn't have an out that I see. Am I missing it?
No, I don't think she left herself an out. She just got in big time trouble, and
Um, I feel like if he drops that S over there, he's got some interesting letters left,
G
doesn't
U R
he?
Y on this board. I'm not sure GURY is
Mm,
going anywhere. I think
yes.
finding Gyrus is probably the only way
No,
he's
I
getting
guess.
anything out of this.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Let's see. What else could he do with GURY? Not seeing it. Not seeing it.
Now I guess you're right. Um, I mean, if he, yeah, he'd need to get two more plays in.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Wow. He's probably sitting there recounting the entire game right now. Oh, he's tracking. That's what he's doing. So I'm guessing he doesn't see the outs or isn't confident in Sergi or Gyrus. He probably also doesn't know how many points she has on her rack at this point. So maybe he does see Sergi or Gyrus, and he's just trying to figure out if they'll score enough. Lots of stuff going on, and I don't know how seriously they're taking this game. It's possible they're keeping score, on a piece of paper, not tracking at all.
Alex is wondering if she mistracked.
It is possible. Again, I'm not sure exactly what's going on in the room where this is happening. It's possible she mistracked. It's possible she ran out of time. It's possible they just elected not to track both of them.
Sure.
Oof. Okay. And Guys is going to come down. Gyrus is a tough spot. I didn't see it. It took Beth and her 5 arrow thing, I think, to help us out with that. But I don't think guys is quite going to do it. Almost any play now scores enough
Well,
that Heather will take this game.
she needs to not go over with time, though.
Yeah,
Okay,
try is going to do it. 12 points and
good.
just an R for Crane. Cool game. Super cool game.
Yeah, terrific.
It feels where almost everything is roughly equal. You know, both drew a blank, both hit exactly one bingo. And Heather was just able to squeak out a couple more points,
Heather
which
got
ended
the
up.
Z, he got the Q. It was,
Yeah, you
she
hit
got
the
the X, he
Q,
got the
I hit the
K.
X. You know, Crane going to do everything he can now, but at 3 points is it. He'll end up losing by 15. Back and forwards game, lots of fun.
Huh. Yeah, nice game, Heather and Crane.
Uh, Bingo on the manuals rack, Manuals, with a floating D, I believe was ladanums, Ladanums. So I did not know that word. Let me make sure I spelled that right for you guys because I'd hate to teach everybody a fake word on the stream. That's it. Yeah, ladanums, Ladanums, which would have played for almost nothing, but still a bingo. I wouldn't have seen it. Crane didn't see it. Can't blame somebody for not seeing that if they haven't studied it, and it's pretty deep. Um, yeah.
Well, I love it when a player of your caliber says, I wouldn't have seen it. Just
Yeah,
gives
yeah.
hope to the rest of us.
Scrabble's hard, man. There's a lot to see and a lot to consider and a lot to do, and it's a hard game. Eternally humbling. All right, so it looks like we have another game. They're gonna switch up who's playing, and we'll get going with some more Scrabble action pretty quick here. Who's in chat? What's going on? I see we got 15 people on stream.
And I wonder if there's any way to get rid so we can see the full board.
Yeah, Beth, I was able to kind of smush the window a little bit, like squeeze it down so it's long and skinny. And now I've got access to that top corner. The board's a little
Oh,
bit
okay.
smaller, but hey, it works.
Let me try some smushing.
Yeah, smush some stuff around. And as we get that window played with, I'm going to take a quick top off my coffee break. We'll be back in 8 seconds. That was actually 19, but we're back. Beth, do you have
Well,
any tournaments coming up?
yes, I've got a couple of tournaments coming up.
Oh, yeah. What are you
So,
playing?
well, first I'm directing on Saturday up in Epping, New Hampshire. Matt, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can. Thanks for doing all the heavy lifting. This is my first time, and you're great.
Yeah, no, this has been good. I love doing Scrabble commentary. You seem like a natural as well. You've got a lot of cool things to say, so perfect.
Oh, that's nice of you to
So,
say.
for our audience out there, we are playing another NWL game. We're bringing Heather back, our defending champion, and she'll be playing against Shauna Petrie from the Toronto area. I believe this is going to be an NWL game as well, and it'll be an exciting one.
Now, I have played Shauna, and she's formidable.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And now we have
Yeah,
a
and
problem because I told you I like to root for the women.
but yes, what do you do when
What
it's
do I
two
do?
women playing against each other? Well, I know you root for fireworks, you root for a good game, and you root to learn something new. We already
I
learned
like,
latinums last game, and we'll see what these ladies can teach us today. We've got anagrams of ratings too. Heather at 1641, Shauna at 1164. So that's cool.
now, Shauna plays Collins usually, right?
I believe she does, yeah. Perhaps, a bilectual player playing each of them. Yeah, that's what we're hearing from chat. But I believe this game will be NWL and all the perks that go with it, such as the double challenge and all that.
Cool.
All right, Shauna opening with EEFNNOW. So probably want to undouble those N's, undouble the E's, and score a little bit. Looks like she's found a play to do that already. E now for 14. Also, may be reasonable here to play few instead, but that holds double ends. Not the best thing to do as well. So E now I think is what she's gonna like to go with here. 14 points, and we're off to the races in Shauna versus Heather. What do you see in this rack with Heather?
Now, what I see is a U that punches me in the face. Man,
UW
I hate
together.
you.
It's never going to be a good game when you open with UW together, right?
No.
For those of you newcomers in the chat or those newer to Scrabble watching along, WU is among the worst two-letter combinations in the game, and you should take some time to learn every 2 and 3 and 4-letter word that have both a U and a W. I'll give you a hint, there's no 2s, and as far as I know, there's only one 3, WUD, which is a great one to know. She's got a 4 here, an important WU4 as well, WAUR. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. Oh, WUZ. Thanks, Noah. Yeah, WUZ is new as well. Wafer also plays underneath E now with 4 overlaps. That's a lot of points. So if you look past the WU and decide not to undouble them, Wafer is going to score extremely well underneath. 30 points, holds
Oh,
CU.
I think that's reasonable, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. Wafer is great. She's gonna instead get rid of the U or the W. You can't really play both unless you play WAUR, but that's a reasonable play as well. Dump some of it. Very defensive as well. It's going to be tough to come back with a lot of stuff unless you've got a good overlap or an S. All right, so Heather shoots into the lead here, and Shauna has some stuff. EFGINPR is the rack for her. I'm not seeing anything that jumps out right away from this rack. I'm not seeing a bingo or anything like that. What do you see?
Well, the one thing I see is my mantra is the ing is a giant trap in Scrabble.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's
It's so
easy to get caught
tempting
up on that
to say,
synergy.
oh, I'll hold on to that ing, but oh,
We're going to go with finger here. So you're right that ing is a trap, and you know what? Just dump it. Just dump it all.
well,
That's what Shauna's deciding to do here. Playing big, playing long, scoring some points, and we're going to shake that bag a lot and see if we can pull a blank out. A lot of players do like to play 5, 6 tiles pretty frequently in efforts to improve their shots of drawing a blank. That's called tile turnover. That's pretty common out there. A lot of players ascribe to it or ascribe in certain circumstances. Oh man, Heather drew another U, so that WU is still there.
Oh,
Ugh.
gee.
Ah. And
That
now,
is a beautiful spot there under that under finger, but I don't, she's not going to
yeah,
be able to really make hay with that.
SWAT is about the best of the options there. It's just not anything super
And
good.
that plays off your S and keeps your U. Boo.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
Now she's got the C to come down from the OR to make orc.
She does have that, so CAW or something like that could make some sense. It would also set up the A for Orca underneath, which is nice. So we got stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely options. Nothing is going to clean up this rack perfectly. I could actually see a case to be made for throwing back UW here and holding cast, CASTE. You've got enals available. The floaters with the I and the N and finger both work very well. With the ACEST, you'd leave over. I wouldn't do it, but I think there are players out there who would.
Huh. Don't know
Um,
what's going down here. Oh, WAES or WAE.
we're going
Okay.
to hold on to the S
Huh.
here. Okay. Makes some
That's
sense.
interesting.
CSTU as a leave. We'll see where that goes. That can go very good. It can go not so good. But holding the C, I think, for the orc spot is some of the rationale there as well.
All right. So Shauna's got double I's, but
Yeah, very close to the disgusting 7 Ipomoea, Ipomoea, but 2 I's instead of 2 O's. It's going to do her in there. Yeah, just not the best stuff then. All of a sudden this is just a bad rack with 5 vowels on it. And you're looking at options like piano through the N and finger or just a bunch of unfun stuff like that. MOI is going to be a good way to play off some of those letters. AEIP is a leave that can go well as long as you pick up at least 2 consonants. And we'll score some points. We'll take away that ORC play from Heather. And costumes without the E is the rack for Heather. Customs. It's going to be the 7 there, unless there is multiple. Customs and refs goes down right now. I don't see any cool overlaps that make more plays with reft or anything like that.
and the I only takes an L. I mean, the moi only takes the L, so that
Yeah,
looks
MOI. No S on that one.
right.
Ooh, Shauna's drawn a bingo through the S, but it doesn't quite fit. Oh, that's so cool.
I do not see it. Let's see if chat
It's
does.
so cool. If anybody finds the 8 in Shauna's rack through an S, it's not going to fit
Oh,
here. But that's a cool one. That's a fun little anagram. Props to Heather. She did find customs. Sometimes it's easy to find an 8 like costumes and then just become blind to the 7s, but she finds it, crushes a spot. Lots of points for her.
well, I thought I had found that eight. I thought it was isophage, but it's not.
It is not isophage. No, it
It's
is the
not.
valid word that I always type isophage for. Uh,
Oh,
Hoagies plus a P, as Jeff Newman points out in the chat. Yeah, Hoagies plus a P. Very, very tough to spot over the board. Super cool. It doesn't play anyway, so it's a moot point for Shauna, but she has some great options. Hope or Hop, something in that vein underneath customs, making SH is going to score very well. It gives back major counter plays, but I think you just have to do it.
yeah.
Maybe hoping through the N and finger comes down. Again, ing we've talked about as a trap, but for me, the problem with ing is not so much that it doesn't work. Like it is, there's a lot of words with it. It's that it
Of
never
course.
fits. It never fits on the board. But in this case, the IG through the N and finger, that spot's probably not going away. Maybe there's a case to be made. I wouldn't do it, but I could see it. So here's hop or hope, one of the two. In this situation, I'd probably elect to put the E on the end. I just hate holding three vowels and one consonant because if you draw two vowels and two consonants, your rack's okay. If you draw three vowels and one consonant, you're in big trouble again next turn. So I would have put the E on the end, but I totally understand why people choose not to. AEIG as a leave will probably bingo a little more often than just AIG alone. But when you don't bingo, when you draw the vowels, it's big trouble.
I just hate not to have an E on my rack, but looks like she drew into another E.
She'll draw antigene
Yes.
through the N and finger, which is great. I'll spoil the Hoagies plus P rack. Drop me on mute if you want to keep searching for it. And I'll give you a hint first. First letter is an E, and the last letter is not what you think it is. It is esophagi, ESOPHAGI. It takes that disgusting O front hook too. Good one, but didn't quite fit. Gazed is going to get dropped down for a gazillion points. I think that's a gazillion, right, Beth? Did you get that score as
I,
well? Yeah.
I'm just recalculating. Yes, gazillion is correct.
Gazillion it is. Okay, yeah, yeah. A gazillion points for gazed and customs and then gazed back to back. And Heather's just dropped the 1-2 punch on Shauna. It's tough.
Yeah, that hurts.
Antigene is going to be a tough word to spot. If you're looking at the N and finger, you're thinking ing, not ene. But it is there for Shauna. She'll also have some good plays underneath gazed if the bingo's not found. ZA, something like that can be stacked underneath and get her some points as well. So she's not dead in the water, not by a long shot.
What do you think about GAN undergazed?
Yeah, not the best. EEIT is not the leave we'd like to hold, but what else can you do? If you're going to play underneath, it's going to have to be that or something a little bit smaller, something like a tan or GAN. You're going to have to hold vowels to hit that spot. So GAN keeps things nice and tight. Volatile leave for sure. Tough to do, but probably our highest scoring option we're going to have available. If you really want to keep things open as Shauna here, there's also potentially like Zeta, Zeta.
Oh, changed
Oh,
her
she got Collins for a second. I think she wanted to play
Ah,
AE and ZE. Would be a great play if
yes,
for Collins.
yes.
EGINT is a real nice leave, but alas,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's got to be just so devastating for Collins players is seeing over and over these crazy Z overlaps you would have that just don't work out. Collins has ZA, ZO, and ZE acceptable. Now the Z is so good in Collins because of that, but not going to work out.
No.
Tricky turn then for Shauna. AE was such a kind of no-brainer play. Keeps great tiles, scores very well, and all of a sudden now she's probably doing the same mental gymnastics we just did. Like, I can play GAN, but oh man. And
Yeah.
then I've always
Believe.
had massive respect for players who primarily play Collins and then come back and play NWL. For me, if I've seen a word before, it's probably good in Collins. It has to be good in Collins. I'll play it. But for a player like Shauna, something like Shen, Shen, which I wouldn't think twice about playing because it's a 3 to make 4 on both ends. She's got to be like, well, I've seen that a bazillion times before, but is it good in TWL? Or is it just a Collins word that I've known forever? So really tough decision. She's going to end up playing Zig for 26 here. Probably a little bit of word confusion, probably a little bit of frustration with the G's she keeps drawing. And a reasonable play, AEENT can go well for you unless you're going to draw the Q into it.
Stupid Q.
Q.
Matt, you've done some Collins, right?
Yes.
Do you go both ways, or
Uh,
do you consider yourself mainly a?
Mainly an NWLer. That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, and so that makes it harder to answer. I haven't seriously studied Scrabble in 9 years, not since I was in undergrad, like a gazillion years ago. And I always tell myself, hey, when I come back, I'm picking one book and I'm going to get very good at it. But which book is it going to be? And I've had this analysis paralysis for 9 years where I can't decide which book to study. So I study neither one. And I don't know. I'll play whatever. Right now, where I'm at is if I'm at a tournament and both dictionaries are offered, I will play NWL because I'm more comfortable with it. But if it's a Collins only tournament, whatever, put me in. I don't know the
Mhm.
twos or the threes, but I don't care. I'll make some words. I only play Scrabble right now to have a good time with my friends and catch up with people and chat anyway. So as long as my friends are there and we're going to have a good time, I don't really care. Let's just make some words. Heather drops Basque, so she's just had back to back to back killer, killer, killer plays. Customs, Gazed, Basque is at least 50 points. And is she going to bingo too? Re edited? Not quite. I don't think so. But that'd be just the 1, 2, 3, 4 punch, just really letting Shauna have it.
It looks like Mike in chat asked, "What's the challenge when everything is valid?"
Yeah, this
Not
is I think this is some Collins versus TWL stuff. Definitely in Collins, you get more availability for overlaps. There are a lot more twos, a lot more threes, and just a lot more stuff fits down. That doesn't mean Collins is not a challenging game. It's exceptionally challenging because there are so many threats you always have to be thinking about, and so many more racks that all of a sudden bingo, and so many more words you have to study. They're both great games. Great minds play both of them. Um, there's definitely challenges, but I like the grindy game of NWL. I'm a very closed board player, and I love when nothing can happen. I love when we both plunk one tile down for the last 7 turns because there are no available options. You can
You
still do that in
do.
Collins. Yes, you can still do that in Collins. Absolutely, can still do that in Collins, but all of a sudden there's a hook that you didn't know or you didn't think about. And it's a lot harder for me, who doesn't study this lexicon, to have that kind of board control that I like.
Oh, basketed.
Basketed. Very
That
cool.
is that is not
Is that
valid.
that is not valid. Yeah, I'm saying as Shauna, even me, like I'm gonna challenge it because it's game over. It's 45 points. It puts me
Yeah.
down 150. I have to, right? Um,
Come on, Shauna.
but looks like it's been
She
allowed.
didn't lose
Heather
it.
is now
It looks
drawing your tiles, and I
yeah.
don't think these. Oh, it does say courtesy draw permitted. We don't know exactly what's going on in the room.
But she's mixing her tiles, so probably Shauna's released it.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, she's mixed them. So and drawn into harried, which I believe is good. Herried. I gotta
I think
check.
so.
It is good and rehired. Okay, yeah. So rehired with 4 overlaps also fits. Yeah, and Shauna draws a blank, which is going to help her catch up, but not with the rest of that stuff. Not at all. JY, tough stuff. I'm not even sure how she works her way out of this. And even if she does, she's just getting bingoed on at the bottom after this. Tough game. Tough game for Shauna. I see there's a little bit of action going on in the chat, like talking about us and our closed boards. I love when nothing can happen. Like, no, man, no. I think it's great when my opponent's best play scores 9. Like, I love doing that. And hey, if my best score scores 9 too, like, fine. But it creates more options for you to set up. Notice I've got the last A. I can set up this hook over here, and my opponent can do nothing. Or if you get the last S in a situation like that, it's awesome too. Wow, Jeed is like the one thing that could make Heather's life really difficult, and that is exactly what happened. Is Ditherer good?
I think so. Oh, but I'll check.
Ditherer is good. Okay, so that's still a possibility. Billy is asking, is this a real tournament? I believe these are just some casual games being played and streamed. We're trying to get the streaming software set up and team nice and flowing for the upcoming major nationals tournaments. So we're just kind of playing with everything today. Got some sound checking going on, checking our software, checking our equipment. Um, we'll probably see a very similar view to this as the nationals are streamed in a few weeks. But just kind of hanging out here on stream, watching some Scrabble, and hanging out for today. No rating points to be gained. Probably no money unless Josh decided to stake something just for fun. Heather's in a situation that I would find extremely difficult. I'm up by 120, and I have what I think is a word, but my word knowledge is bad. I have ditherer. It could be a word. It could be completely made up. And I'm up by 120, so it adds in not just the strategy and the tactical component, but also sort of one of sportsmanship. Like, oh, if I were confident, I'm certainly playing ditherer here. Nobody's ever going to, blink twice if you dunk on someone by bingoing for a third time to go up by 200. But if you do it with the phony, is that good for? Everybody's got their own answer to that question, which is part of what makes Scrabble fun and tantalizing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
do
the, the answer is different in a friendly, and it's different in a
yes, yes.
tournament. I feel like ditherer, though, is a really common word. But it's funny which words some people find are option. Some people find to be common and some people find not to be. I had somebody challenge crone off once, Crone, and they said, "Wow, you've really been practicing the fives." I'm like, "Crone? That's a really common word as far as I'm concerned." I feel like ditherer is a common word, but maybe it's not.
You
Maybe
never
I.
know with those ERs. Yeah. But she's gonna play it small, play it conservative, play HERE. Oshana gonna draw and crush the X, which is
That's
nice
a
for
good
her.
one. Yeah, and Shauna has the blank on her rack, and I mean she's down 100, but there's a lot of
That
possibilities here.
the lane after QAT, if you drop an S bingo there, that could be 100 points. That could
Absolutely.
be 100 points, especially if it ends with LY. That seven would fit nicely. That Y would slot on the double letter.
Oh, and
Um,
an ILY. I love that. Oh, Shauna's got a nice little
so
situation going.
Saintly is going to come down for 100 if it's seen, spotted. That is, yeah.
And
Wow,
I
that
don't
she drew
see
exactly
how,
what she needed.
yeah. And Heather can't do anything about that I see.
No. So that is exactly what you want to do when you're Shauna too in this situation. QAT creates a huge, enormous, dangerous line that is hard to adequately address. Now, Shauna didn't have an S when she played that, but when you're getting crushed, sometimes you just set it up and hope that you draw it. And if you
Yeah.
don't, well, okay, but that gives you a fighting chance when, in a situation where other plays don't. And yeah, QAT, you're probably just going to play QAT if you've drawn the Q, but playing it there in that spot in this situation has given her nastily or saintly is going to be the big play here.
And the Y is going to hit the double letter, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it is. It is going to be 101. So
Ooh. And let's see. Heather's looking at overwords.
over edit is valid, but doesn't go here. Exit. Exited. Okay. That makes a little
Okay.
more sense. Doesn't quite block the Saintly play. And Saintly is a little bit tougher, but I bet at least Nastily will go down here. You've got to be thinking to make that S or that blank an S with the QAT spot. If nothing else, though, Natalie, Gnattily, might be a word, and that might fit. I don't know. Something's probably going to come down.
Well, I sure hope so.
Oh, banality through the A, making Moyle as well is
Oh,
fun.
that's a beautiful spot, Matt. I
And
love that.
analytic, banality, yeah, something like that. See in the chat now, we're talking about different challenge rules, right? 5 point, 10 point, 15. That kind of goes back to what I said right when this stream started, where I'd love to see Scrabble Nationals where every major tournament has a different rule set. Let's play some 20, some 30-minute. Let's play some 5 and 10 point challenge. Let's play some double. Let's play some single, maybe even, whatever the players want. But I love the variance in strategy and in risk taking and in time management that would bring. And I think that would be just super cool to watch people adjust to see who does well in different formats. I could see, if there were a 10 or 15-minute variant added, players like Joey Krafchick, Noah Walton would be just absolute studs. Not that they're not already, they're incredible players, and I could see others where there are certain players, I think if you gave them 30 or 35 minutes to think, they could do some amazing stuff. Mac Miller types. Eric Tran is another one. I see Ultra Blitz Nationals, please. I'm down. I'm here for it. My renaissance to Scrabble the last 8 months has been fueled entirely by 1-minute games against randoms on ISC. If you are one of those 1-minute players who has lost to me, I apologize, but I got real bored and I needed to do something fun. So
When I had babies, those 1-minute games, 2-minute games, I was always just
yeah,
playing Blitz in between the baby crying. Just,
yep.
yes, I can get in a 3-minute. I can get in a 2-minute.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. My patients are probably going to push that button and I'll have to come back out, but I know I got at least 3 minutes, just play some 1-minute game real quick.
Looks like she might not see it.
Yeah, she's got Giantly set up, and once you pull one word out, it's hard to find
True.
others.
Yes.
Orchid Wave, I love this idea. It'd be maddening to have a variant where the challenge penalty would be a random number between 0 and 50, newly generated from each challenge made. The next challenge is a 47-pointer. Be careful, guys. I love that.
That would be very cool. I'd play the hell out of that.
I'm down.
This
I'm down.
is, I
Anybody want
think,
to?
this is why
Go
you've got
ahead.
to be really brave to play while streaming. That's
Yes. Oh, Ryantly is what was set up, probably. Yes, Ryantly is good too. Yeah.
I think that means laughingly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think Riant is laughing, but I don't know. Yeah, cheerful.
Ryant. I don't know how to say it either, much less, I've
Oh, there are
always,
so many words that I just say the way I need to say them to remember them. I
yes. Yeah.
was, oh, and here we come. She's going to play off that Y. And
All right.
great leave.
Yeah. We're
Uh,
gonna we're gonna
that one.
bingo with QAT probably 60-70% of the time, leaving install blank like that. And you can spell install with one L for those at home who didn't know. Learned something new today, maybe. So, Beth, we talked earlier about Heather's Racks and the WU. What do you think about WV? Or I'm sorry, UV.
I don't like it.
UV is almost as bad, right? Maybe a
Yeah.
little bit more flexibility, but Vault is coming down. I think she's got to know, like, I've got to do something about that S. And well, you can't make the S spot go away completely. You can throw a V at it. V is a great defensive tile, and make it harder for Shauna at least, and that's exactly what happens here.
And I don't think, is there a S word?
Nope.
No. That B was not a good draw, Shauna.
No, it's not the
Ooh.
letter she needed. Tablings through the G might be a word. I don't know any words, but that's something that could exist.
This board is now very tight or tighter.
Or especially if we're not playing in a tournament. If I'm Shauna, I'm just playing a 5 on top of YE. I'm opening that triple triple. I don't care.
Yeah.
Now, Heather's drawn a great rack and a blank and would crush it back. She's got Pandora's box, pun very much intended, up there.
Huh.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, Pandora's through the A involved or something like that. But I would try it anyway. Why not? What do you have to lose? You're already going to lose the game. So do it.
My guess is, I don't know, she should, yeah, opening it up is the way. But I'll bet we
But
see job at the bottom with,
yeah, we might see a
I,
bantling.
I think she's going to
Oh,
bantling, huh?
yeah,
I think
3
she's going to
and
try to play
finger.
off that B and try again to fish, is my guess.
Yeah, that's a reasonable idea here. Sometimes too, you just kind of lose. And I think we're approaching that territory. She just hasn't quite drawn what she needed, and Heather's just been keeping the scoring on
Right.
nonstop. I think Brandtail almost fits through the A and Vault, but not quite. It's probably maybe an 8 there. I don't know.
Let's see. Jeff is asking, didn't they do 15 at a tourney once?
I have a 15-point challenge, I think, is in what that's referenced to. I'm not sure if
Oh.
they did. I'm not aware of it, but I'm not aware of a lot of things. Ooh, okay. This is fun. This is fun. Thanks to Billy for pointing this out. Shauna has found tablings. If she tries it, Heather will have pronated as a triple triple in response.
Ooh.
So Heather's going to be like, the INGS words are almost never good in TWL. They're like less than 10% of them are, but that one kind of seems like it would be. And then it gives back a triple triple. So make a crazy situation for us. Will Shauna try it? Will Heather challenge? Will Heather triple triple back?
She's doing it.
He's doing
Uh,
it. Well, what did we ask for when we said two women playing Scrabble together? We want fireworks. I think we're about to see some fireworks, guys.
okay.
All right. She's reaching for the bag, so I don't think she's on hold. And we'll see winner if Heather spots pronated. Um, you've got to have that like heart dropping moment if you're Heather. Like first you had OUV together and you played them off, and then you picked up this blank, and then oh my goodness, now there's a triple triple. Like things just went from 0 to
Whoa,
100
yeah.
very fast. In TWL, tablings gets played about 4.5 times in every million bingos. All right. That is not very often, but it's some. So Shauna picks up UY. So UW, UV, UY. We've had all the fun combinations this game already. That S is going to help Shauna hit the QAT spot, but
Yes.
if
Oh
Heather
no.
finds pronated here, nothing matters. So you got double doubles with the I, got the triple triple with the T as well.
Gee, I was thinking Signoria works as a 7, but it doesn't. I'm thinking of something like it.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
well.
no, that popped into my head too, and I can't remember what it is. Signoria is not good, but there's something very similar to it.
Uh, uh, Others playing around with it. She's like, oh, if that was an I would have imported. Oh no.
Yeah, tough. Aproned, and there's a bunch of sevens in there too.
Operand.
Yeah, lots of
And a,
stuff.
yeah.
For those of you popping in late, we do have a phony on the board. We will see if you can spot it yourself. I just wanted to warn y'all. Not everything here is something you should take home. What is that word? Dysuria. There's all kinds of stuff sort of
Syria.
like it.
How about Signoret, maybe?
Synurae, yeah, that's it. Synurae.
I
That's
think
it.
that's
That's
what
the
I
one.
was trying to
That's the
think of.
one. One of the hardest things in Scrabble to me, and I don't know if other people feel this or not, but it is counting how many points your triple triple scores. Because just I'm so excited to be playing a triple triple. Like I'm grinning from ear to ear. B, I'm not used to multiplying things by 9, and then you got to add the 50 to the end, and there's usually a blank involved, and I can't do it. Like when I do play a triple triple, I sit there and I stare at it. It takes probably a minute of my time to figure out how to make the numbers go that big too. So
Yeah, that's a really pleasant problem to have.
it really is, first world problems are the Scrabble equivalent, but
Matt, if
one of my
I'm
biggest.
playing against you, okay, and you triple triple, do not say to me, golly, I just hate counting these triple triples because I can't be held accountable for what I might do.
You know, Counting triple triples is one of the worst things about Scrabble. Probably my other least favorite feeling is having to designate a blank. Like I have
Ah,
to go circle that letter too. Man, what a bummer.
I
Like,
know all that handwork with that circling. I hate that.
oh, so
Yeah,
challenging. I'll complain about both of those if we play a
yeah,
game soon, Beth. Yeah,
that's
definitely.
that's the smart thing to do.
And when I get a fist coming across the table,
Yeah, that's
I'll
my
know what. There are certain people it's definitely like fine to mess with over the board. I'm always one of them, and if you ever want to mess with me and have some fun, do it. Just don't be that person who only does it when you're winning by 150. Because then yeah, you might get some nugs
oh,
too.
that's a cool, stylish word, paranoid.
Yeah, paranoid. I like that.
Yeah,
Um, so
that's
pronated, not going to come down, but hey, it's probably my fault because I talked about how hard it is
yeah.
to count them. So yeah, that's on me.
I was at a tournament relatively recently, and I didn't know. Oh, lunch was on the board, and I didn't know there was a front hook to it. What's the front hook for lunch?
Ooh, is it a G?
Yes, it is. And I
Oh,
said to myself, well, that's stupid. That can't be a word. So I went up to the challenge computer, and of course, glunch is fine. And my opponent, instead of saying nothing, which is the right thing to say, said, let me tell you how I know that glunch is a word. And I said, actually, not right now.
yeah, yeah. Let's wait for the
I
game to
don't need
end.
to know how you know glunch, but I'll tell you that's how I know glunch. When you win a challenge, lady, the only thing I want to hear from you is nothing.
Yes, yeah. There are a couple opponents, and I won't name them publicly on this stream, but when I win a challenge against them, my next move is sit there for 6 minutes doing nothing while I watch their face turn redder and redder. So, you know,
Yeah.
there's some mind games in Scrabble that can and should be played, and if you're going to play a hothead, like, hey, let's have some fun with it.
Well,
But I have
Shauna,
absolutely done that before on purpose, and I can't think of a better use of 6 minutes than
oh,
just getting in your
yes.
opponent's head and doing nothing else.
That's a
Uh,
fun use of time, too. Well,
it takes a special kind of person. I don't do that against nice people. um, I try to be friendly over the board, but if you break that barrier, we play that way.
fair enough. So Shauna has ravines, but
No spot. Heather's got
mm,
location to an inn. No spot.
uh,
Tio
so
Cali or something like that.
I think Shauna has to play that savor something from the cat now. Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. It's Heather's turn. She'll just make a
Oh, it's Heather's
play. Yeah. Ravelin's nearly fits through the L and tablings, but we'd have to back hook
turn.
YOU with an N, so that's not going to work either. Yeah, Shauna's finally worked her rack into a great shape, but a little too little, a little too late, though she can still threaten large plays with QAT. I wonder if she can exchange. She can also play the V in two different places. She's got Lav, she's got Vet near the bottom, or Lav near the top. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just see the V come down. Hold R sign, which is a great, great, great leave and has many
Yeah.
options. In this situation, if you're trying to win, probably got to score and play the V at the same time. You can't just fish and hit the bingo. It's not going to score enough. Um, but we'll see. Also, not tracking at this tournament. We don't know exactly how many are in the bag. Maybe she's not even able to fish. Maybe the bag is empty at this point. So, for those of you just hopping in, watching the stream, tuning in late, I'm Matt Kinnick, joined by Beth Mix. We are not commentating on a tournament today, but just some casual play, trying to get the stream up and running and smoothed over before next month's national championship tournaments. And just hanging out, watching some Scrabble, talking about words. You're welcome to hang out here and watch with us, drop some stuff in the chat, get some banter going. But yeah, that's what's going on today.
I'm
Shauna,
counting that there might just be one in the bag.
one in the
Um,
bag. And Shauna can't be super excited about that E pull there. I believe that's not going to make any sevens in this dictionary. And I'm not seeing any eights that are going to fit either. So we did, in fact, hold our sign. I'm curious what the last letter in the bag, but she probably wishes she pulled one of those three I's on Heather's rack. Scenarii and QATS is going to be hard to block, and it's going to score very well. But alas. You think paranoid takes an S? Paranoids?
Paranoids. Interesting. Would paranoids take an S? Now, my profession is children's mental health. I feel like it might. Let's take a look.
You're thinking just like me, probably. The first thing I think is you're supposed to use person first language now. You're not going to say
Absolutely. A
paranoid.
person with
But
paranoia.
that the dictionary is not a place where we use person first language necessarily. So is it good? I would put an S at the end in most cases. I would bet money that it does take an S, but your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. I feel strongly that it does because I just checked.
Yeah, I just counted the tiles as well. I think there's none in the bag. I was like, did Heather forget to draw or was that her last rack? So Shauna's V fish pulled the last tile out of the bag, and it was, unfortunately for her, that E.
So many
So
things go with our sign.
I know, right? This is a lesson for those at home. If you are going to make a one tile fish, one mistake I see people make a lot, and I'm not implying that Shauna made it here. I would have made the same play as her probably, but think about what's going to happen if you pull a vowel more often than a consonant. Because yeah, like most racks are going to hit if you pick up a V or an N or a T. But what's going to happen if you draw an A or an E or an I or an O? Those are way more common. There's 9 A's, 9 I's, 12 E's, 8 O's. You're way more likely on a one tile draw to pull one of those than your R or your T. So our sign is a little tough because it's not going to bingo into an A. It's not going to bingo into an E. It is going to bingo into an I with scenarii and an O with Eurasian, but and not with a U either. So look at the vowels. That's a really quick way to see, is this a good fish? Is this maybe not the best fish? How often should I be hitting next turn?
But
The
when you're
best.
desperate too,
I'm sorry.
when you're desperate,
Yeah, when you're desperate, you got to try. Yeah,
gotta try.
but like those early game fishes, that's how I approach them now.
That's smart.
So we said we had two goals this game. One was fireworks. Heather's sitting there at 450 right now with a potential to get even higher, and she's going to get a little bit higher. And we said we wanted to learn something, and I think we've learned a couple things this game already. I learned that basket is not a verb. There's no such thing as basketing or basketed. Actually, basketing might still be good. I learned tabling takes an S, so that's good. I learned paranoid takes an S, so that's good too. Hopefully, those of you watching at home learned something as well. I also learned MOI doesn't take an S. I told you I haven't studied since 2014. Dog, I don't know that new stuff. Did you learn something this game, Beth?
Yes, I learned what you said about fishing because I tend to be a fisherman. Uh,
Uh,
and the idea of just instead of thinking of what I need, thinking of the opposite, what's left. I tend to be an
mhm.
optimistic person. So I tend to think, yeah, I'm going to R sign plus practically anything. But to think of R sign plus many vowels is not going to be any good.
Yeah, yeah. And not just that, but when you draw the vowel, like you fish a vowel for four.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you draw into R sign again. Like it's a good way to get yourself into some trouble.
And I found also a renewed sense of what an unfair game Scrabble can be. Basketed should be fine if vatted is fine.
Right? How can you vat something but not basket it? Like if you can put it
Right.
in one container, you should be able to put it in anything.
How about barreled? Can you barrel something?
I mean, I know
No.
as a baseball thing, people say it all the time now with their advanced metrics or whatever. Barreling is when you hit the ball between like 10 and 25 degrees and it's harder than 95 miles an hour, I think is what they're calling it or something. But I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, none of this
Yeah,
makes
barreling,
sense. But
barreling
that's why we play
forwards.
this game.
Yeah.
The props to Shauna again. I can't emphasize enough how hard it is to go from primarily Collins backwards to TWL, and she did a good job here. She kept it close, kept herself in the game really until the last turn or two as well. So nice, and then good job by Heather setting up a good out in two. RAIL holding INTI, making sure she can go out next turn. It's always how you want to end games when possible. And yeah, there we go. More fireworks, lots of
All
points.
right. Yeah.
Let's check in with our team. We'll see if we're getting you guys more Scrabble right now or if we're going to take a little break. Looks like we're going to do a little post game interview with Heather, which is cool. Heather is our undefeated eternal champion of the day. She is 2-0 so far. The nail biter, and then a more thorough victory in this one. So we'll get a post game interview with Heather coming up pretty quick, and then we'll hop on for a short little break before we come back to some Scrabble action in Toronto.
Where are you finding out this information?
Josh is privately messaging it to us in the
Oh,
stage 10 chat.
what do you know?
Yeah, it's a lot of chats to watch as a commentator, but I've got a little bit of experience. Here we go.
Yes.
We've got Heather on cam now. Heather, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, we can. So, hey, thanks for letting us watch a couple of your games of Scrabble so far. How are you feeling?
Well, pretty good. I've won both my games that I've played today. So yeah.
Lucky. Yeah, you are our champion of the day.
Woo!
Nice Scrabble playing, Heather.
Thanks, Beth. How are you?
Good.
Good.
It's fun to watch you play.
I yeah, I'm trying to keep it out of my mind that there are spectators, which I'm unaccustomed to, but I haven't done anything too terribly boneheaded, I feel. So
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, no, you've
whenever
had
you
some
go
cool plays.
going over 400 in, oh no, that first game was under 3, but that was a tight one. That was
it
an
was,
interesting game.
it was very tight, and I was playing my life partner as well as my Scrabble partner, which is that always adds an extra element of tension and frustration on the part of the person who's not making the plays. But yeah, no, I that was a really close one. I felt like we drew fairly evenly, and that was reflected in the plays and the tiles and the game at the end. And yeah, I mean, you saw I was facing a lot of vowel issues throughout the game. And I was, it made obvious sense to me to not try and turn over those tiles to get bingo tiles. Just wasn't that kind of a board. So, yeah, I was able to score like 2 turns in a row with playing 2 tiles off for like almost 20 points. So
Right.
I feel like
I
that was a
loved
good
that
point.
play you made, the ace play.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I mean, I think, when you see all that junk on your rack, first there's such a strong temptation to exchange that I fought off, and I'm very glad I did because I don't think that was the right choice. So I persevered and snuck it out. So yeah, I'm happy about that one.
Yeah, no, we loved the way you persisted through. It was a 2 point game, and it's like,
Yeah,
you want to exchange, but you
you do.
you
You just
just
want to
can't. You got to
try and
keep the
get bingo
lead.
going, and I'm like, I don't think that's the right choice. It just I don't see that in my future right now. So I'll take these teeny teens and 20 points. So that worked for me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we think you did a great job. Did exactly what you're supposed to do with that board in that situation. It's been some good Scrabble.
Oh,
So
thank
now
Well,
my
we'll
question
let you
to
get back
you
to it.
is,
Thanks for your time. Thanks for the
okay,
interview. And to our
okay.
viewers, we will be back in about 10-15 minutes. Thanks, Heather.
didn't get to ask my question.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry.
All
Um,
right, are we on a break?
we're going to take a break right now. We will be back in just a little bit, and audio's going out to those viewers. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly. All right, we are going back live. For those of you with us, thanks for hanging out through the break. And we are excited to bring you some more intermarital drama. First, we had life partners Crane and Heather playing, and now we are proud to bring you Shauna Petrie versus Dave Crook, also married, also from the Toronto area, both very nice people. Beth, have
Oh,
you?
they are the nicest people. And you
Mhm.
know, Shauna's other game is
It is competitive wheelchair curling, correct?
curling. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
multi-talented.
That
Scrabble and curling.
curling is
Um,
super cool. Um, sorry, you were going to say something, but I will just say, yes, I'm Beth, and this is Matt.
yeah, absolutely. We're learning in the chat actually that Dave also plays curling. So two curlers and two scrabblers. Let's see if we can get a curling word, a little bonspiel or car spiel or curling target, something like that.
I remember the most helpful advice I ever got. One of the most helpful advice pieces I ever got was that sports words often take the S, even if they've got the ing. Does curling take an S?
How could it not? It's a sport. It's got to take an S.
It's got to take an S because it does.
There it does. Yeah. All right. So let's see where Shauna opens with this game. We'll also try to get some clarity on if this is TWL or CSW as a lexicon they've elected to use. I think both of them will play whichever lexicon is available, though they both prefer Collins. So we'll get that clarified, and I'm sure they'll make a play very shortly that will also clarify that for us. Uh,
And
Shauna's
Shauna's
first rec is
first.
already tough.
Yeah, that K really messes things up. Oh,
It does, yeah. So she is going to get rid of it. Looks like Maker is coming down. Get that M on the double letter. Not a bad idea. Score some points. Get rid of that K. That's what we want to do more than anything else.
and now the GI. I know I said the ing, of course, is a trap, but I'd be hoping for an N.
Definitely. I agree. Looking at fun extensions to Maker. I believe Die Maker is good. Diemaker. I wonder if anything else is out there. Wig Maker is being dropped by the chat as well. I don't know if that's good in TWO or not. Someone smart can look it up. Dave is so close to so much stuff. Enoorrs, close to Nooners or Sooners or something, but
There's
instead we've
wig
just.
maker.
I'm sorry?
Wig maker?
Wig Maker. Yeah, possibly. Hey, maybe that's what Shauna said on that IG for, hoping for the W.
Maybe.
Dave's turn is tough. I mean, he probably just wants to drop like ROO somewhere, either OR or ORR, or OOR rather.
NOO. That'll do it.
And OO coming down here, so 15 points for that. Um, Keeping the two R's, but as I talked about earlier, two R's are actually a lot less anti-synergistic than one might think. So,
Now, would you prefer to keep the extra O or the extra R? I think I would keep the extra O because it could have made it
uh,
more.
probably EORS is better in a vacuum. It kind of depends on the board. Do I have vowels or consonants to work with? How many R's are left unseen as well? Um, really could go either way on it. Oh man, I wonder if there's like a double double with ABLE or ABLY.
Ah.
Gainable. Nah, I'm not seeing it. Ooh,
Oh,
Dave
and
into
Dave is pulling
ERRS. Ugh.
the S and the J, the Z and the J. Wow.
Yeah. Here we are thinking he's gonna maybe bingo next turn, and absolutely not. Scrabble had other plans. The story of my life, though. Scrabble had other plans.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on with the clock right now. It looks like we've got a Ulu display instead. Maybe someone checked a rack and then never got the clock set back up. But we'll get that adjusted in some time for y'all. There we go. And I have no idea what Dave is even supposed to do with this. Like that. Uh, oh, he's trying to
Oh,
play REZ and MOZ, but I guess we just found out what lexicon we're playing in this game, right?
I guess that would be.
Yeah. Oof. Man, this is a tough turn for Dave. Otherwise, there's nothing good. REZ and ROE is terrible. There's MOREL. Like, there's just nothing good to be done. I think he just exchanged. No. What?
Anything coming down from that B?
I didn't
I
see it. I think he's exchanged, but where did his S go?
He didn't. No, he couldn't have exchanged the S.
Might have been absent-minded. I think he accidentally threw the S back.
Oh no.
I mean, definitely want to exchange there, but I think maybe the Z and the S, he conflated them in his head or something. Oh no.
Oh no.
What a bummer.
It
I've done that
happens.
before. I've
Oh,
definitely done that before. Where
me
I think
too.
I changed the Q and I look down and the Q is still on my rack and I
Yes.
exchange like the U instead. It's like,
Oh,
no, 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 no. Ugh.
well, Davis really the
No.
the bag decided to really punish him. Ugh,
Oh man. I mean,
VB.
an S wouldn't even help with that junk, but
No.
oof. Scrabble giveth and Scrabble taketh away.
Ooh. And Shauna looks nerds. Shauna
Nerd.
looks in
Oh,
good
nerd.
shape.
Yeah, Sellers or something. Shauna's going to score well next turn, and
Right.
I think Dave has to decide if he's going to play Vent and VOE or just throw it back now. You never want to exchange twice in a row, but you also never want to draw VV after you exchange. So Vent is going to come down. At least he scores some points, and he's going to knock out at least the easiest to spot bingos with makers. I mean, Seller or Speller is still going to go down, but um, at least kind of muck it up a little bit.
Oh, and there's an earthquake happening.
Just I didn't know Toronto had earthquakes, but it seems like wild weather going on.
Yeah.
Racks like these that Shauna has are easy, but they're also not. Like you have to think about all of these plays and the slight differences in what they're going to do to the board. Like, okay, resells and events makes a ton of sense, right? Does it take a front P? Are you sure it doesn't take a front P? So you have to think very long and hard about these racks too. Make sure you play a word that has hooks that you know or that you're comfortable creating. You can't just play
Wow,
the first
Matt.
one.
The way I play is I bingoed. Hooray! Not, oh, I bingoed. What is somebody going to do to that?
You have to be paranoid at all times, as we learned from last game.
That is true.
Even if pronated scores a little better, be paranoid. Oh, we're gonna go with reseller. That's got to be good,
Reselling.
right?
I think that's got to be good. I
I
mean,
wouldn't challenge it. I have no
Miss
idea.
economy?
Exactly right. One of those. I guess I'll designate this blank, but there's really no reason for me to situations.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is she drawing? Or are we on hold? If I'm Dave, I might just frustratedly hold because I haven't seen a vowel in like 6 days.
Yeah. Oh my God. I didn't even look at his rack. Oh, ugh. Two
It did not
C's
get
now?
better.
Oh,
It did
Dave.
not get better. Yeah. Again, the S is not even going to help when you're going to draw like
Well,
that.
if I were Dave, I would be just cursing because look, she gets a couple of E's and an S and a blank and an R, and I've got two C's and a V and a Z.
Yeah,
I love
he's got two choices. You can play Nerds for 28 holding CCV, or you can throw it back.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, Scrabble's not fair sometimes. EELLRS blank versus whatever this garbage is.
I'm really interested to see if he throws or if he plays.
I mean, what else can you play? Play Vent again through an E?
Wow.
Play. It looks like he's throwing back CCV. Yeah, this is tough. Uh-oh, we got a cat sighting.
Oh, Scott loves Scrabble. His name is Bingo. No,
His
it's not.
name is Bingo.
No, it's not. I lied.
Oh,
His name is Al Pacino.
Al Pacino. We like that.
And my other cat is Meryl Streep.
Very good.
Yeah. Wordplay.
We like it. Wordplay is always welcome on a Scrabble stream.
Uh,
And cats. And if you disagree with me, please leave. So Dave is going to throw back again. He'll hold RTZ this time, or RTZ, depending on what country you're looking from, and still not getting much better. There's at least one vowel in the bag. He has proven this by drawing one, but that's all he's got. And Shauna going to drop the X and sex for 26 points. Set up TZAR and sext for Dave, which is a decent way to start to get out of this rack and to score some points in the process.
I'm not seeing your TZAR play. Where?
Oh, SCXT.
Oh yeah, there it is. Of course, nice.
So that's something. Phased FEZED through the E and reseller is also a good option. Depends on if you want to play sext or not, mostly. Oh, Shauna, what did you draw? Ugh.
Oh, and it's like you had special powers.
Yeah. So Czar, 37 points. Finally starting to unmuck this rack, I think. We'll see if he's able to draw vowels. Shauna is certainly able to draw vowels in this game.
Yeah.
Czar is going to give back a wee for like 1,000,000 points. AWEE.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but Czar scored so much that we started another earthquake.
Hey, it's shocking what Scrabble can do.
Right. EEEW. Like really, really gross. I sure hope that's the actual definition. Yeah, Shauna gonna drop a wee. Yep, that is 1 bazillion points precisely. 37, which is the same score as R. Okay, well, no progress. And Dave hasn't even had a shot to draw letters left before Shauna already smashes him back with a big play. Don't you hate when that happens?
I sure do. But I love these Scrabble power couples. They fascinate me.
Yes, there are several of them out there, and I love each of them the most.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
I do.
I wonder though, like, how often do you play Scrabble with each other? Do you play one game a night after dinner every night? Do you go through binges where, somebody wins 10 or 20, almost all in a row and then you quit? Do you never play each other aside from tournaments? It's got to be tough.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think Shauna told me that she moved over to Collins so they wouldn't play in the same division because Dave was only playing TWL, which wasn't even TWL at the time. But maybe I made that up. But
that's funny. Yeah, I know. Growing up as a kid, my older brother and I both played Scrabble, and we used to play all the time. And then somebody's rating went up. That was me. And then all of a sudden, we stopped playing real quick. So, all right, good little overlap. Crush a
Very nice.
bunch of points out of that, keep the blank. A nice play by Dave. And at this point, you're just trying not to fall too far behind until the letters kind of balance their ways out and give you some plays back. I feel like Shauna's got a crazy 8 in this rack. Like, it looks familiar to me, but I don't remember what it is, and I don't think we have the floater that she would need anyway. So, man, next to a Wii, there is a ton of potential for crazy overlaps that score like 50 or 60. You know, a Zap play or a Zag play, GED, PED. Like, even just something like Biped scores like 50 or 55. And did Dave just draw Biped? Please draw Biped.
He,
Oh, okay. Well, Pad still scores a bunch of points.
Yep.
Or PAID fits 4 overlaps for a ton. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bound to happen at some point. Someone's going to crush that spot. I don't think Shauna's got anything there.
Yeah, she's got a nice rack there, though.
Is Humate valid in Scrabble, or is it just a drug?
Humate is good, but I
Humate
don't
is
think
good.
Humated is good.
Yeah, Humate P is a drug that we give for people with like von Willebrand disease to help their blood clot. So this is the worst thing about going to pharmacy school and then coming back to Scrabble is now I know drug names and they're usually not good. Humate is good. Humate is
There's
good,
no
and it only
substance
takes
in
the
there.
S. I don't think humate is the play you want to make here, but it is a word. I think hum is probably a better idea, and that's what she's probably thinking about as well. Hum right on top of foin there. Yeah.
There it is.
For
Yep.
those of you brand new to Scrabble, yeah, humate, ATE at the end of that would score 8 more, but it gives back way more to your opponent too. It opens, those triple word squares and some stacking opportunities. And ADET is just some really great letters. They work well together, and it's better to forego some points now to hold on to those letters. Here we come. PA. Yeah, I was curious if he'd play PAID and REI or just PAD. That score is a little bit better. Looks like that's his choice here. Might be a little tough to give up the P here. The HUM just allowed a HUMP plays to come back, and that's a pretty powerful tile, but that spot is so good. I think you just got to crush it like he did.
Totally agree. Okay, so Shauna has.
I wonder if advert is a verb. Adverted. I have no idea.
Adverted. I don't like adverted, but
It's good.
It is.
It's good. That's
Wow.
tough. I don't think I'd play that in a tournament. I don't have the cojones, but adverted barely fits underneath through the R and reseller.
Wow. Adverted is good and basketed isn't.
Weird. It will never make sense. We'll just keep playing.
Well, she's doing what I would do. Get rid of the friggin' V.
Yes. It's almost never wrong to do that. And she's setting up the A behind it, DEV taking the back A, and she's holding it, so that's going to be nice as well.
And she's got a beautiful leave.
Yes, ADET, like we were talking about. We didn't play Humate because we wanted to hold that together, and we're going to hold it together here and hopefully draw bingo next turn. Looks like our camera got bumped a little bit to our crew in Toronto. If we can get that straightened out, we'd like to see the right side of the board. Actuated. Oh, not quite. Okay. Caudate is the bingo in that rack. Okay. IIOY for Dave. Not fun, but he's going to do his best to get rid of that. IIOY, you're almost always playing something like Yoni or holding on to some of those, and that's exactly what he's going to have to do.
You don't think caudate takes an R, do you?
Caudate does not take an R, but I think E-caudate or A-caudate, one of those is... A-caudate I know is good. Is E-caudate also good? I think it is. I'd play that right now.
Uh,
Yeah, E caudate is good. It plays to the blank E in reseller.
oh, beautiful.
Or caudate plays with DEVA, but that is a tough word to spot.
Yeah.
We'll see if it comes down or not. We're trying to get the camera set up right now too. Now
There.
we're a little the other way.
But yeah, the other way.
Again, for those of us watching at home, just now tuning in, we are just streaming some casual fun games of Scrabble, hosted out of Toronto, Canada. This match features Dave Crook versus Shauna Petrie. They are married to one another and are also top-notch Scrabble players. We are trying to get the stream set up for the upcoming Scrabble Nationals, which will be hosted next month. And so we're just kind of testing our software. Shauna Bossy is going to come on board and be the streaming guru for all of us and put all of that together. And we're trying to get him some tread on his tires and learn how to deal with listening to me drivel boringly for hours and hours. So, Sean, thank you for listening to my boring voice and my dumb commentary, and for all you're doing for Scrabble putting this together. And big ol' shout out to Josh Greenway as well. Couldn't do any of this stuff without him and the support of Stage 10 and his company.
Well,
Again,
I will
anybody,
double that shout out, and I will also say I don't think you're boring at all. But your results may vary.
I'm used to self-deprecating humor. For those of you who don't know me well, I taught high school in a past life, and nobody wants to listen to you talk less than a bunch of 15-year-olds who have cell phones in front of them and more important things to be doing. So I can bloviate with the best of them now, and that's why they bring me on for these things. uh, Caudate's going to be tough to spot, and I have no idea what to do with this rack otherwise. So I'm sure that is exactly where Shauna's at right now, and we'll see. Hey, Die Maker almost got pulled. That's cool.
Oh,
Not
that
like
is
it
cool.
fits anymore.
Well, it's probably going to be something up with that diva spot, right?
Yeah, you got to play there, but like what EAU? Like that, people love holding on to their E, so that's probably going to get held. AUD is not good. TAU, like I don't know. It's tough. Racks like this are tough because almost all of your letters are good.
Oh,
ACTET. Oh, actual.
okay. Actual.
Not a bad idea. Get rid of the U, or get rid of both of those A's. It looks like we got our rack cameras frozen now, so Shauna's
Oh,
still showing those old letters, but we'll get that adjusted. Ooh, ooh, Dave's got a cool rack.
yeah. Is society there? No.
Society is there, yeah. So
Mhm.
society and devs, nice
Yeah.
find. But Koi is going to score so well and hold on to that blank too. Probably not a terrible idea here.
And the S. Yeah.
Scoring 26, hold IST blank. Society's tough to spot too. And hey, if you're bingoing with Society and DEVS, it's really not going to score that well. So, you know,
Yep.
maybe the next one he draws will actually hit a double word square and score well. We'll find out. We don't know Shauna's rack currently, but it looks like the clocks have just been stopped. So I bet they're trying to play with the cameras a little bit, get things adjusted, and get us back to the action.
So are you seeing what I'm seeing that we see Dave's rack?
We have Dave's rack, yeah, HIIRST blank. Shauna's just pulled down, and there we
Ooh.
go. Um, Finally back up, DEEINNS blank. So
Um, hmm.
there is a valid 7 in Shauna's rack. It does play, but it is tough. It's rather obscure, and especially with lexicon confusion as well, it might be tough for her to get down.
Gee, I'm not seeing a 7 for her, so I'm going to keep working on it.
Yeah, it's tough. There's a lot of words that kind of sound like it too. So, those of you at home, you can do a little anagram practice or word knowledge practice, or I can just spoil it for you since it's not coming down. The word was Indeens, Indenes, which is a tough
Yeah,
one, but I hate these racks. Deeinns. Like, if you don't bingo out of these racks, it's so hard to score points. Like, Den is about as best as you could have hoped for, and that's 20.
right.
So, bingo or die, those racks are not the most fun. So it's great to know all those bingos that have just a bunch of 1 and 2 pointers like in Dean's, because it's 80 or 20 out of those a lot.
Well, Shauna is certainly pulling beautiful letters now. Those I
There we
know.
go. I mean, we got rid of most of the junk earlier between Dave and Shauna, so it's good. Good to know that there's good stuff left, and she's got some of the best of it. Dave's letters look a little. Well, I probably shouldn't say that word out loud on a stream, but it bingos with a T and an E.
Yes. Yep.
um, are there any good sevens here? Uh, there's probably something, but I'm not seeing anything good.
I'm not seeing any 7s there at all. Do you see a 7?
No, no. It seems like Dave doesn't either. He plunks his H down for 18, so he doesn't have to deal with that. Um,
Anybody in the chat see a 7 there?
oh, there was only one valid TWL7 in that rack. Wow. Tons of eights, 23 eights available, but only one 7. And the blank was a G.
Sure. Yep.
A word meaning like a type of big cat. Yes,
There we go.
tigerish.
Sure.
And Shauna's got a spot to drop those beautiful, beautiful letters down, and she will pick
Okay.
Norite, the anagram of Orients and Oestrin and Estonier. So Norite's going to come down. Big bang. This game is more or less out of reach for Dave now, though he'll probably get a chance to do something cool himself out of this rack. Well, I shouldn't talk so fast because I'm not seeing it.
Oh, yeah. Now the board just doesn't have the spots either. There's 2
Yeah,
I's
yeah.
and 2 S's.
Wow. There are 2 7s in this rack. One is a very common word that all of us should see, and the other is ridiculous, and I didn't know it until right now. Neither one plays, so it's kind of a moot point for these players and the game. But yeah, if you want to do some anagram or blank bingos, 2 7s in this rack for Dave. One easy, one very hard.
Yeah. I see one of them, and it's an easy one.
Yep. So I'll spoil it for the crowd since they're not coming down anyway. The easy
Let
one, the
me.
blank is a P, and the hard one, the blank is an M, as in Matthew.
Ooh. Ooh. Yikes.
It is ridiculous.
Okay, well. So not bingoing with all these. Yeah, he's going to look to play an IS, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, when you got 1 point tiles and you don't bingo, it is so demoralizing. Look at this. You got a beautiful, juicy triple word just opened, and you're going to
Oh.
score 19 and use 3 good letters to do it. Like, it's sad. It's sad, these racks. But, bingos are good.
Yeah, and Shauna with the 3 eyes. Ugh, that is a
Woof.
clunky rack.
Yeah. Uh, TIPI or exchange.
Yeah, is there a TIPI spot? Oh, way in the my
No, no. No, there's not. That
Oh,
makes
there
it nice.
isn't. Okay.
We got nothing. Ugh, gross, gross, gross. Oh, and Dave picks up the Q. Yeah, it's just not his game. He just
No.
all the consonants, got the Q on top of it. It's been a tough game
Oh, yeah.
on Dave's end. So I'll give away the puzzle from earlier. The easy one in that rack, Dave had IIRSST plus a P makes spirits, and the other one, as you see on bottom, is Smritis. That is not a typo. SMRITI, and then you put an S in
Oh,
it. So Smriti is a 6. This is an SMR itis. It is a you can take that S off. So Smriti and Smritis. And would love to know what a Smriti is because that is cool. And like I said,
wow.
let's learn something new every game. We definitely learned something new. A Hindu religious text. Okay, dope.
If if I were playing Balderdash, that's probably what I would have guessed it to be.
Yes.
Uh,
There's a couple degrees of Kevin Bacon there. One Scrabble player, his mother is good friends with the creator of Balderdash. So
really?
if you know Jackson Smiley, his mom is friends with Balderdash's creator. So
That's so
fun
cool.
tidbit for the 11 of you watching along with us.
I
Now
do
you
know
have a
Jackson,
topic.
and I love Jackson Smiley.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. You know what I don't love is Dave's rack.
Oh, it's brutal. Looks like he's gonna. Oh,
I
he's
think he
throwing
just
in, isn't he?
seems
Yeah.
to, yeah, and it's tough in this situation. Like, what could you even do? I can't bingo. The board is dead, but I have these bingo prone letters. Someone in chat is recommending a strife to the FE. Yeah, that makes sense, but I don't know. You'll need a T to do that, or TIS, I think was the turn. He could have played strife. At this point, you just kind of roll over and or, protect your spread when Scrabble strikes you this hard. Shauna's just going to keep on trucking. She cashed that X earlier, going to cash the J big now. Um, yeah, and this game's largely over.
Yeah, it would take a miracle. So I just read an article about the Dion quintuplets, and the article was um, it was an article that was in the Canadian newspaper at the time. And am I right in saying in Canada they call them quins? We call them quints.
I've only heard quints,
Yeah,
but I have the American perspective as well. Curious, yeah. Canada, they call them quins.
I believe they call them quins. I thought it was quite interesting.
Is
Well, I
that
mean, so the Dion quins.
huh?
Okay, I was wondering if Rife would come down. That's now that I think to me that looks like a really nice play. Opens up the
Yeah,
board for him. He's got terrific letters. I like that.
yeah, yeah. Finally, I think we might get to see that bingo come down. We'll just need to avoid the cue that we just threw back.
Right.
Does he? Let's
With
find
his
out.
luck. Mm,
Yeah, I mean, if the rest of the game is any indicator, the cue is coming out right now. And there it is, right on
yes.
cue. Yep, yep.
Oh,
Scrabble is predictable and stupid, and I love it.
yeah. Yeah. I I don't know if it's predictably stupid. Yes.
Now, it can't be all bad for Dave. He bingos out of this rack on a normal board.
Right.
So, it's not all bad. His leave was so good that even the queue won't stop him from bingoing, but the board that they together have created will stop him from bingoing.
Yeah, he's got oh, why can't you have those draw those letters on the first turn?
Exactly right. So the Kindars, Quindars, is the bingo in that rack. And just a
Wow.
bummer that it's not going to fit. At least he has an eye that he can fish the cue next to if he's ready to give up on it.
I
Though I don't
don't
know how
think
many
there's much
tiles are in the
to
bag.
trade at this point anyway. So,
Hmm.
um, okay.
Good little play by Shauna. Not excited to throw the G there, but you are up by so much, and this scores so well that we're okay. Now Dave is really upset that he drew the Q because almost anything is going to bingo to that ing, but
Yes.
not the
Oh,
Q. Story of the game. It just hasn't had the timing, and when he does have the timing, he doesn't have the stuff.
now, are there more tiles in the bag or not? I Is
We'll see if
Shauna
Shauna
drawing?
replenishes this rack. Yeah, three.
If Shauna, yeah, if Shauna's drawing a full rack, if there's tiles left, I think I would play off that Q next to Rife and hope for the ing.
Yeah, I mean the ing likely gets blocked, so I'd like to keep both lines open, but that's just not doable in this situation. There's nowhere else to put the Q without burning the U or without burning the blank as a U. So, ugh.
Oh, Shauna. Yuck.
Hey, better now than when the game was close.
Yeah, yeah. You can't feel too sorry for her when she's up ahead by this much.
Yes. Maybe that's the subway going by, giving us the board shakes, not an earthquake. That'd be more
I
Toronto appropriate, right?
guess so. Although I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've ever been to Toronto.
Oh, I literally drove in yesterday from Toronto. I spent 2.5 weeks there. So Toronto to
Well,
Philly. By the way, recommend that drive strongly. Toronto to Philly, just through the rolling mountains in upstate New York and then
well,
Pennsylvania. It was a beautiful drive. Got to see Appalachia. Got to see the Allegheny Mountains.
huh.
Kind of tough on your car. Lots of hills,
How
lots of
long?
mountains. But
How long did it take you?
8 hours. But I drove Texas to Toronto 2 weeks before that. So 8 hours is
Oh,
nothing compared to the 25 that it takes to go Texas to Canada. Take the
right.
TTC. It's inconvenient. You're not wrong.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure how many are in the bag here for Dave, but in almost any number of tiles, this play makes sense. Even with zero in the bag, this play makes sense because you've got to get rid of it. You don't want to eat
rid
the
of it.
cue. Although, yeah, there's just not much to do. We'll see if he draws one. We'll see if maybe he's got a chance.
Huh.
Little Simpsons reference there. We like it.
The problem with It was a fun documentary.
Dave did mercifully pick up a T,
Yes.
so he will have striding or something in that vein. And Shauna, perhaps because she wants to be able to sleep tonight, leaves it open for Dave. I can
Right.
only imagine
It's
that kind of wedding
consideration.
drama.
Right.
You blocked my out bingo, so now you're sleeping on the couch. Like, I'm sure neither one of them is that person, but
Yeah.
somewhere at some point it certainly happened. Someone plays a phony or blocks a bingo and ends up on the couch.
Ooh, but Dave has just, I think Dave just kind of gave up.
Hmm.
Ooh, oh. Yeah, he
The
said,
worst
I'm
part,
just tired now.
yeah. A we is actually an adjective or something. I think it means away. It doesn't take the S.
Mm,
But at this point, oh, it looks like we got a challenge.
no.
Or maybe we're adjusting the camera. One of these
Uh,
is happening.
the clock seems to be stopped.
Dave is going to capitalize on this opportunity, calculate the end game.
Oh, bye bye.
All right, it did indeed come off. That'll give Dave maybe a little bit more time to notice the G line at the very top, kind of buried under the rest of those letters. Striding would be good.
I don't think Shauna's going to give him. On the other hand, that rack is. Ooh.
That is special, yeah, real special. A Lula doesn't quite fit or anything like that, too. We're in trouble. Well, Beth, you did get your wish. I don't know if this is our last game or if we're going to bring y'all one more today, but men went 0-2 today. The women were undefeated playing against men, and the only woman who lost to another woman. So,
I like it.
yeah, we do too. And we'll check in with our team on the ground in Toronto, see if one more game is coming for those of you who have stuck with us or just popped on in. I think we had originally planned for this to go till about 5, but hey, it's a lazy Sunday. Got nothing else going on. Why not learn a thing or two? I've learned a bunch just watching these games.
And I learned something also, I mean, among other things, is that commentating is exhausting. Who would have thought it?
Yeah, I was talking to Morris Greenberg. He now lives up in Toronto, and since I was there, I hit him up in the area, and he did all 5 days of nationals last year. And I asked him, "Are you coming back?" And he's like, "Honestly, I don't know. It was just so hard towards the
This is
end."
my first time commentating. I was like, I've been waiting all my life for people to ask my opinion on things. And now I'm just like, wow. I'm just exhausted.
It's
Exhausted.
it's a lot easier to play, what is it, Monday morning armchair quarterback or whatever. But then at the same time, doing it live, it is a lot harder, definitely.
Wow. WU for Shauna. Holy mackerel.
Of course, it's been the day of WUs,
It
just
really has been.
nonstop. The bag is empty, so an out bingo now from Dave would mercifully save Shauna from having to play through IIUW. We'll see if striding does come down. Though at this point, honestly, people are probably more concerned. I saw they had some snacks set up over there in Toronto too, so I'd
Oh.
be at the snack table already.
Josh does say we got one more.
One more game coming. All right, we will stay on the line. We will stay on. Uh-oh. Oh no. Okay, sort of noticed the spot.
Mm.
Oh, he's gonna set it up. Yes. So he just plays rim, holds the tee, and we'll see what he's maybe dusting and trim. Does knighted take the S? Nitids? No, it does not. It wouldn't fit anyway. looks like we got a nice little weather widget going too. Not bad. Cool little add-on. Um, you can see the beautiful weather going on in Toronto, 19
Oh,
degrees in Celsius,
oh
which is going
my
to be about
gosh.
66 Fahrenheit. Then
Oh,
Monday, high at
19
24,
Celsius.
mid 70s. Yeah, yeah, Celsius, definitely. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Being married to a Canadian and spending like 8 of my last 10 summers there, I just kind of use Celsius now, being a science teacher and a scientist as well. Yeah, just gotten used to it. All right, Saint, or yeah, probably Saint is coming down. Shauna's not going to be able to do anything with that IILU, but um, she'll make some plays. We'll try to figure out who we've got in our final game of the day for y'all in just a moment. Probably going to be some talking in the room, like, hey, who's still got another game in them? Who wants to get back on the camera? Personally, I'd like to see Heather come back on, our undefeated champion of the day, 2-0 Heather McCall, putting on a clinic for us. But I am up to watch anybody, excited to watch anybody.
Well, another thing that's kind of surprising to me, seeing players play with their racks, is I thought that most players alphabetize their racks, and it seems like they don't. It's not a thing.
Yeah,
Some players do,
everybody's
some
got
players
their
don't.
own. Yeah, definitely. Everybody's got their own things that they do with their racks. I Have you ever seen those players who have like letters turned sideways and upside down on their rack?
Yes! Yes. Have you played next to them at the table next to them?
Yeah, it's like I just want to turn your letters all facing the same direction. Like can we please?
Yeah, that hurts my heart. But
Maybe just a little bit OCD about certain things,
yeah,
but that's one of them. That breaks me.
me too. But I just assumed everybody alphabetized their letters kind of first thing, and I'm finding out no, that's not a. Some people do, some people don't.
Yeah, yeah. It's really just the studiers tend to do it. They recognize those alphagrams and are used to seeing them that way. But people who don't study or don't study often, or if you've ever seen like Matthew Tunnicliffe, he's arranges his letters in a bizarre way. I don't think he's watching anymore, but he does all the vowels and then all the consonants. I think everybody's
Really?
got their own stuff.
Wow.
I'm definitely an alphabetizer. I just alphabetize them, write them down, and leave them alone for the most part. But everybody is different.
No, and I've watched streams before. I just never really, I guess I never noticed.
Hmm.
So I'm so glad I got to see Shauna and Dave because, as I said, they're one of my favorite. Well, they're basically some of my favorite people, but definitely I love those power couples of Scrabble.
Yeah, yeah, we've got quite a bit of marital drama already today. 2 out of the 3 games have been between partners, so
Yeah.
we'll see who Toronto brings us next. But always like seeing those couples. And again, I'm so curious about how often do you play at home? Did Dave quit playing? Or Shauna switched to CSW so they didn't have to play? Like that's funny.
Now I do see we got another game in 1 minute. Shan versus Crane.
All right, cool. One more game for us. Uh,
And 1 minute. All right. Well, I is that enough time for me to get a coffee? I'm gonna
you
run
got
really
this.
quick.
I'll go solo if we need to. Take care of yourself. While we are paused, getting our next game going, doing a little post mortem, I'm going to take this opportunity to say happy birthday to my grandfather. He is turning 88 today. So happy birthday, Johnny. Sorry I can't be there to celebrate with you. I'm busy up in Philly, but happy birthday. Have a good one. A lot of faith from our players. We're just throwing them right back in the bag. We're not going to square them. Oh, I
I'm
used to
back.
not. Oh, we're back. We got coffee.
We got coffee. Oh, what?
Excellent. How do you take your coffee?
7 and 7.
7 and 7.
7 creams, 7 sugars, baby.
Oh, I take mine black.
Black. Wow. We really are opposite.
Quite, yeah. Just on coffee.
Right.
Uh, yeah, I did the math when I started teaching high school. I knew that I would go through a lot of coffee. I needed it, those early mornings, those loud kids. And I did the math on if I put milk and sugar in my coffee every day, how many calories will I drink across the
Oh,
year? And then how many pounds does that equate to? And I found other ways to put on that weight. Don't worry, put on my little COVID 40. But
I thought you were going to say I was doing the math on how expensive it would be. And I'm like, oh, we just don't pay teachers enough for cream and sugar.
well, also that, yes.
Also that.
I had it set up. I allowed my students to use the coffee maker and the coffee supplies in my room as long as they brought the coffee supplies to my room. So I drank their coffee and let them also drink their own coffee.
Wow, win, win, win. And then you get to be a cool teacher and you get your free coffee. That's sharp. That's
Yeah,
classroom
yeah.
management, baby.
Yeah, yeah. You just got to give them something nice, give them a little carrot, and everything takes care of itself after that, right?
Okay, so we've got Crane and Sean.
Crane and Sean, we'll get those scores reset. I presume this is going to be a TWL game. I know Sean is really just a CSW player, so that'll muck things up for him a little bit. But to my knowledge, Crane is just a TWL guy. We'll see. Have you been to a Crescent City Cup? Looking at that tile bag there.
Never, but oh, people rave about them. Have you been?
Oh, absolutely. So now I'm going to have to take my turn and rave about them. Tournament put on by Lila Crotty, Kate Fukawa Connolly down in New Orleans once a year, maybe a little bit of, COVID we didn't do a couple years, but usually MLK weekend down in Louisiana. Most of the time the weather's incredible, especially for you Northerners. And just a great time, a fun city, always a great venue, always a great crowd. I wouldn't say the Scrabble played is necessarily the highest level from some of the players, given, maybe they had a late night the night before. But there's lots of fun, lots of great food, lots of great people. And if you haven't played a New Orleans tournament, I cannot emphasize enough that you should try to save up some money
I
and make that trip.
every year I'm like, this is the year. Maybe next year is the year.
Maybe next
Hey,
year's the
a
year.
Q and a U together.
A Q and a U together. Uh-oh.
Isn't that lovely?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't hit
Oh
the clock.
no!
We caught it. We caught it. Okay.
Hooray.
Woo.
Whoa.
All right. So Aqua, not without some drama, but Aqua does eventually come down for 26 points. Oh my goodness, those V's have magnets in them. How many times have we seen them come out together?
Now, I'm interested to know. I would have placed the U so it was under one of the double letters, considering I have already played the Q. Is there a compelling reason to play it that way?
So we don't want to put the Q on the star for a lot of reasons. Why was it played there? I mean, it could be a Z setup, except Sean is the one sitting on the Z.
Right.
It could be because we're worried about back hooks.
Oh, the E at the end.
It could be that we don't want to give up double doubles. I've done some numbers, and the A is the third most dangerous letter you can put in a double double on the first turn. It's
Okay.
third to I and T, so maybe that. I don't know. It's probably one of those things too where you sit there and think about it for 4 minutes on your first turn, and all you've really changed with your decision is you have 4 fewer minutes.
Right.
So I don't know. I think I would have put it with that last A on the star. I think I agree with you, but I don't know. Every placement has some merit, except I think Q on the star.
And you don't want Q on the star because you don't want them coming down to the triple score.
I just don't want them to play hit underneath for like 40 and close the board,
Right.
or HIM. You don't need to give them two vowels to play. You're going to have to give them one with that word, unless the first A is on the star, but you don't need to give two. All right. So Sean did have the Z on the first turn and was unable to come back with any kind of ZA counterplay, which, for a CSW player like Sean, we've talked about how deadly the Z can be. It's like, man, I even get the TWL letter I needed, and I still couldn't spell a word long enough. That's tough for him.
Yeah.
He went from, I don't know, man, like he had that Z and wasn't able to score well, and now he's got this garbagey rack too.
Yeah.
Not the start he was looking for. And Crane, ooh, nice. ECEHLO blank. Crane definitely deliberately been holding on to that CH together since the first turn. Aqua held ACH. He drew the V's but kept the CH together. Some great synergy between those tiles. And depending on how this play turns out, he may be able to crush something huge out of this rack. So there's cloches, or however you say that word, CLOCHES, which he's already set up. Cochlea is in there as well, COCHLEA, which doesn't fit right now that I see. Oh, ADO. Choleric or choicely fit through the I as well. Wow.
Oh, Choicely, CHOI.
CELY.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Wow. Fireworks in this rack if we're able to find it.
Those are pretty tough.
I wonder if he sees cochlea and then has to play it with ADOS, and then we have to guess what kind of backhooks cochlea takes. That would be really fun. But I think he's already seen cloches, CLOCHES. That's going to play with jabs. I think he'll spend some time, try to find something neater. Maybe find one through the eye, but I don't know. They're all good plays. They all score a ton. Hopefully he finds one. Okay, maybe he's backing out on the bingo. Maybe not confident in it, but he's going to drop Belch down and score quite a bit. I was hoping Team Cochlea, Team Chaos would come down, but Belch it is, holding on to CO blank with another H to play with the C. And good points for Crane.
And let's see what Sean holding here.
DILNWYZ. Still not good. Can just drop WIZ through the I in Viva. Makes some sense to do. Not many other options when your letters are as anti-synergistic as these. Oh, Windley. Nice. Okay.
Oh, Windley. Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, good. Hold on to that Z for another turn and score well with the rest. Good. I didn't see that. That is a nice little play.
It's funny because I was looking at Wizardly, but Windley didn't cross my mind, and obviously Wizardly is not there, and might not even be a word.
I think Wizardly has to be good. Wizard is good. I know that. So
Hmm,
wizardly, you would think. I don't know.
you're probably right. I mean, since Harry Potter, all those wizard words are good.
Right. Oh man. Ooh, this is tricky. Does Crane have a bingo? Yeah, I saw like geologic, which isn't quite there. That has to bingo in some way through the L. Eclogite, I believe. Eclogite should be a word, maybe. Yeah, eclogite is good.
Wow. How about genocide?
Genocide is there, yeah. Does that fit? Do we have the floaters we need? We need a D
No,
or an N. No, yeah.
he is in the wrong spot.
Yeah. I think the only one we've got on the board that fits is eclogite, which is going to be very hard to
That's
spot.
a very heavy lift.
Yeah. And options outside of that are quite limited. Ego on top of Belch, maybe? Eclogite, a metamorphic rock containing granular materials, typically garnet and pyroxene.
Beautiful.
Excellent. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that's what an eclogite
I
was.
I totally knew
Sure.
you knew.
Yeah. Well, Crane's next play is going to be interesting and probably tell us a little bit about him as a player. Assuming eclogite isn't spotted, and that's a very tough spot. I wouldn't blame him at all if that didn't happen. What are we going to do? We can play Cog and Jog next to Dose. We can't
Oh,
play Ice there. That makes IH. But yeah,
no.
Ego in the same spot would tell us one thing. I'm going to try to keep the more bingo prone letters, or Cog. I'm going to score now. It looks like he is going to play ECO instead.
Now let's see how this works out for him because he's keeping the G and the I because he's hoping for the ing play. And
Yeah, would
I
you
think
have played
he's gonna play
Eco or
Eco.
Ego?
Oh, and there comes
Hey,
an N.
there's two N's. All right.
All right.
All right. So, as I said, the problem with ing is it doesn't fit a lot, and it doesn't seem to fit super well here. So, Chark. Wow, Sean has had the Z since the first turn, although he did just set it up with Chark. If he draws an A, he's got ZA and ZA for 44, 46. Crane did pick up his ing, but what is he going to do with it? Is he like ionogens through the O and eco? That scores like 60. It's a sad
How about
bingo.
Uh, canoeing? No.
Canoeing. No, yeah. Enrolling. No.
No, there's not. Is there anything through the K? I'm sorry. Did you just say that?
I don't see anything through the K. Wow. So Crane got almost exactly what we thought he needed. Does he have bingos down next to dose, making like JOE or JOG or something? I don't think that's a great spot for him to hit either. Wow. There's just not as much in this rack as it appears.
Yeah. Um, how about no? Okay.
Our best scoring bingos are probably down to that C. I wonder if there's like neogenic or something. Lowering. No. No.
I
Nose ring, I think, is what this is.
Not good.
Not good. No. What else? What else could that blank be? That's got to be an S, right?
I don't know, but nose ring, I feel really confident is not good.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the kind
definitely
of
not
word
a
that
word.
could be good, but it's not. I think nose ring is Negronis.
Yeah, Negronis. Yeah, okay. We're confirm that it is an S. And it looks like right away we're going to the challenge computer.
Yeah. It should be a word. I mean, I know about nose rings a lot more than I know about Negronis, but
Right. All right.
I
So
think I get
nose
caught on that
ring
one.
will be coming off the board, and Crane's going to get to look at those letters just a little bit more and try to find something. That deceptively tough rack. And now this puts a lot of trouble on Sean because Sean
Yeah.
knows exactly what Crane has. So Sean could
Ooh.
spend a lot of time, figuring out what actual bingos Crane has, trying to find the best one and blocking it. Or Sean can say, I don't really care. You can look for bingos again on your time, and I'm just going to make a play that looks good. It looks like Sean is electing to go with the second option there, just kind of playing something pretty quick, maybe blocking a few lines, setting up his E as well to make Rizzi. He knows that Crane has one, but he also knows Crane doesn't really have a play to go there.
And yeah, he's not going to want to use it.
Hmm. Or maybe he saw Ionogens and wanted to block it or something. There could be
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
different reasons why he made that play,
Sean.
but he did, and he made it fast, which is important. As now Crane has to spend more time trying to find a valid bingo in this rack.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, good
I
points.
like
Good
that.
points.
Yeah.
But what have we learned? Once again, even with a blank, ing is a
It's a
trap.
trap.
We've seen it over and over, 4 games, and I don't think it's worked out once. Zein coming down. Gno blank. Are we going to see more O's drawn? Oof. Oh, foregone. Okay, we're good.
Very nice. Is there a spot?
Nope.
Okay.
But he can play fog and jog
Yeah.
for 900.
And two. Except I bet Sean plays there. Bet? No. Huh.
Sean
Interesting.
knows that Crane has an S, so Sean probably feels very compelled to make
Um,
that spot go away,
I
or he knows he has a
understand.
blank. Um, so that makes a good amount of sense to me.
I understand. Because it's not going to score. I mean, he could score better with a BAA play up at the top. Well,
Yeah, or like a job or jot play as well.
yeah. And that's where Fog will probably go down, right?
Yeah, I believe fog is what we're going to see next. Fog and jog, unless we want to play nug and go for some reason. FOO next to Windley also makes some sense. Um, I still like Fog here the most. It just scores so well, but it allows your opponent to
I,
counter back.
at this point, I'm desperate to get rid of that G.
That Fog gone G.
Yeah. I think I probably would just play ego in the bottom right.
Oh, ego. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Or maybe just go. I do like to keep a.
Mm.
Okay.
We're sticking with the ENG, not the ING. That's a trap, but ENG, maybe a little
ENG.
different. That's a tough play. There's a lot of stuff that makes a lot of sense to do there, and I don't know which one is right.
Oh,
Ooh,
what's he coming down with?
petrolic.
Oh, well, I do not have access to that word.
It is good. It has an anagram. It also would have played. And
Excellent.
Crane has to figure out what to do now. It looks like Sean might be on hold.
So it's petrol, ick.
Petrolic.
Yes,
Yeah,
assume
those
that's
with green
pertaining
cars
to
might say,
petroleum.
"Wow, what a post bingo draw by Sean to AAERSST."
Ooh,
And
wow.
Crane's got great stuff too. Aging blank. But yet again, I don't see a playable bingo for Crane. Wow. Oh, there's snaggier or something to the R in Petrolic. Like
There's gotta be,
there's
right?
there's sad options, but I don't see anything good. A seven, oh, Gigante.
Oh, uh, oh,
I
I
don't I
don't
don't
see
know if I
Scrabble.
like Gigante.
Jeez, I feel like I've just seen it recently.
It's no good.
It's no good.
Snaggier to the R, naggiest to the T. Triple triple would be wonderful, but not in the cards.
There you go.
Well, get the I and the E in the right order. There we go. Okay. So that's always a little peace of mind, right? You see that first bingo and you're like, "Oh god, okay, thank you. I'm not bingoing this turn."
Right. Find a
But
play, find a better play.
yes, you think he might try like ganglier or something? Signage is what he's got looking. You're looking at now.
Don't know.
I think he's just trying to find anything that isn't as sad as snaggier or naggiest, which I know he's not going to find because I looked at it. But
Yeah, bingo is a bingo.
oh, he is going to play ganglier though. So yeah, ganglier is coming down a little bit more defensive with the letters we fling out there, just as valid as snaggier is. And ooh,
All
Sean,
right.
what are you going to do? I think we
What
just
did I
fish an A.
Crane just played off two G's and pulled first letter out of the bag, another G.
The last G, yeah, got it.
Yeah,
Oh
of
man,
course.
Sean, this is a tough rack. I think he Tesseri is not quite there, right? I don't think this makes any bingos. AAERSST. I don't think that makes anything, even with eights.
Well, you can play off a T and an A at the top right or the bottom right.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's probably better just plunk an A, play PA or BA or something.
Yeah.
I'd probably play PA, just get rid of the good stuff, but probably no reason to play an additional tile beyond
No,
those.
but
There's not.
what about playing off one of the S's? Play off AS on the upper right.
No, I'd much prefer to hold the second S here in this case. He's going to play taps. Okay. Blow it up a little bit more, play a little bit longer, draw some more letters. There is still a blank unseen. I would just plunk an A there, especially with the lead. Like, okay, I'll tell my opponent, you can open the board. I don't need to because I'm winning. And I don't, but if you do, then I'm going to bingo on you.
That is really interesting.
Yeah. I definitely would have just fished an A there. And again, the big question I like to ask is when you fish one tile, what do the vowels do? Obviously, the A misses, but E hits, I hits, O hits, U misses. But um, we'll see.
What you, yeah, what you say makes a lot of sense. Okay, so can Crane do something nice with this X?
Ooh,
Huh,
the Y is really powerful for the bottom right corner of this board. If you get like deny in
yeah.
that spot, that would be a killer. You don't even need a bingo to get back into this game if you can just drop deny there or something similar. But how many good plays fit there? Blank E, blank Y, and we got a back hook.
Uh, yeah, and both B's are gone, so you can't just even throw BY down there.
Yeah. I don't think it's worth fishing for, but it's an option, just a possibility. You're always looking for sneaky extra ways to get back into games, you know. Obviously bingos will do it, but are there bingo scoring plays that aren't actually bingos? That's a cool play too, because with his deficit, he is now taking what was a closed board and making it wide open. Now ER and ED bingos are going to fit because you can make ego on top. So take the board if you don't like the state and change the state that it is in. A great little board opening play for the long term for Crane and going to help him stay in this game. Sean's drawn well, satire plus an O, but I don't see anything that fits. Do you?
No, I don't.
So we might be looking at a one tile fish again. BO makes some sense, hold satire, but well, now there are bingo lines on the board too. But fishing one tile is always a huge red flag for your opponent, and you can imagine the highest scoring bingo line almost always goes away after you fish one tile. So maybe Sean wants to play a couple more. I think he's just going to drop the O.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, changed his mind.
now he's thinking, do I play TO in the same spot? Probably.
Let's see. Tio get you another 9.
The other option is ISBA, ISBA, which scores
Oh,
significantly better than anything else, but blows up your rack. Or ETA in the same spot scores very well too. It just plays off the E.
and there it is.
So he'll grab some extra points. Yeah, you don't need to make this a bingo or die game with the lead. BO makes a ton of sense. ETA makes a ton of sense. ISBA makes a bunch of sense. All the plays make sense. It's just going to see. It's just going to be a matter of what we draw to see which one actually ended up being the best. And E
Tell
is going to
me
be great
again
for Sean.
what word you were talking about in the bottom right. Isba?
ISBA.
Oh, he doesn't have a B.
The B is already there.
Isba. Oh, from the bottom. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
Isba would have been really cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I have to say, I didn't even look in that direction.
As soon as a tub
That's
came
why
down, I
I'm
was like,
only a
yeah.
middling player.
I mean, those are weird things, and it's probably not even a good play. It's just a cool play.
Yeah.
So, oh man, Sean's
Yeah.
gambit did in fact backfire.
Two.
This is the problem when
Oh,
you have satire and an O, and you play off one of your consonants. Is you open yourself up to this kind of stuff, and you have to make really unfun plays like via for nothing. But
yeah.
Ada scored so well that he can stay in the lead despite that. So again, merit to both plays. Ada didn't work out in this iteration because he had a three tile or a three valve draw, but a good thought.
Yep.
Oof.
Solid or soldier. Sean is in great shape.
Yes, he's got two
Um,
spots too. He just fished to
yep.
create a second line. He will be bingoing next turn.
Oh, and Crane's got Gentoos. No.
No, yeah, Nuts Edge if he had a D or fun stuff like that. But at this point, it's looking tough for Crane, especially after my opponent comes down with ETA and then VIA. I have got him set very, on very bingo prone stuff. I can expect it to happen probably next
Yeah.
turn.
If I
Not
were
good.
Crane, I would make raise into grays and get rid of that friggin' G.
Yeah, that's definitely what we'd like to do. I just what else do you can only play like is GENU good as a four?
I think
Did they
so,
add
right?
that? I think
And
they
you,
added
yes.
that. So then yeah, you can play that, hold EST. It does take a back A, Genua. So you'll set up your S, but also the back A.
I think I would
That's not
just
a
play. I think I just play the GUN or GUT, which, oh, there it comes. Hey, okay.
new. Okay. Yeah, not a bad idea either. Still sets up the S that you're holding, creates a bingo line, and holds well. So Sean's going to now get to pick which line he wants to play soldier, solitaire in. It's got to be the top one. You've got to play ego and ran. You can't open the triple triple by bingoing next to Via. And Crane, did you get it? Did you get it?
Hey,
Oh,
yes, Sean
wow,
got
you
it.
got it and then some. You
Yeah,
didn't
he got
need
it
the
in
blank.
spades. Yeah. Okay. This is a close game.
Yeah, yeah. Sean's going to go up, but this post bingo draw, if it's bad, it's anybody's game.
Yeah.
FERMTWP. Ah, that one E is going to be the difference probably in this game. If Sean had drawn 7 consonants, we'd be in
Yeah.
very different shape. Crane's just going to play Endites or something with GNUS. Maybe he makes a play next to Via instead, but he's got denotes set up right now.
Yeah. I like coming down from Via better, although I don't know. Well, he'll probably get more points. He needs points.
Yeah, we'd need to know how many tiles are in the bag and what they
Right.
are. JQXZ are all already out. Got the last blank on our rack. S, S, S. And so we got the last S. So all the power tiles are going to be out after this bingo. Nothing to worry about there. Um, He'll play denotes. Again, with what's in scene, maybe you have to hope your opponent has a bunch of garbage and you draw a good overlap or underlap. In this case, it looks like Sean's just going to come back with like FEW underneath and win the game.
Yeah.
But denotes does leave that second bingo line next to Via available. So if Crane can draw 7 tiles and draw 7 great ones, then maybe there's a chance. I
Not
I
you.
you.
Oh,
Not at the start when we're trying to
no.
bingo, but we're not done yet.
Muriate? No.
I don't think there's anything that fixes that unless there's like a
It looks like there
element.
were only
Oh, and he's
six
only got
anyway.
it's only 6. Yeah, all right.
Mm.
Well, if you're Sean, it's tough to make a play like FEW underneath because you're leaving MPRT. But MPRT makes Trump up at the top, which might be a word, and it's still going to score well enough. You're fine. Few wins the game. Yeah, there it is. So the last 2 games, we've had Shauna, who plays almost entirely CSW, and then Sean, who plays entirely CSW, and they've both come in and won a game in TWL in double challenge, where they can't play anything unless they're certain it's valid in TWL. I can't
Yeah,
emphasize enough how impressive that I find that, because it is so hard to go backwards.
absolutely. Kudos to them both.
And kudos to Sean for being the only male player to win a game today. It's not over yet. You know, he could make an invalid play and lose his turn.
He seems to be thinking more than I would have expected.
He's probably just like making absolutely sure the bag is empty, that Crane only has 6 tiles, looking for stuff like was pointed out in chat, wiretaps as the extension or something like that. You just have to think like, how can I lose this game? And how am I making sure that doesn't happen? And you never want to hold 4 consonants. It leaves you, prone to setups that you now can't block, but he has no other choice. He has to.
Yeah, and if he had played from the via line denote same word, it still few is going to play there, and it's going to be big.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just didn't have the goods.
Yeah.
And if I'm Crane now, I'm like, let's just get it over with.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
I'd show my opponents what my letters are,
Mhm.
especially in an informal game like this. It's like, is it poor sportsmanship? Is it bad form to be like, dude, I'm not gonna bingo, just go. Like, let's drink our beer and get on with the day.
I was playing in a tournament once with a person I'm friendly with. Here comes few. And I had been ahead the whole game, and um, my opponent bingoed out. And she bingoed out, and I said, "Oh my gosh, you won!" And she said, "No, it's not enough. It's not enough points." And I said, "Oh my gosh, it is. Look at what I've got." And I had the J and the Q and the whatever. And I said, "Of course." And I showed him to her. I said, "Of course I'll challenge, but." And at that point, the game ended because I had shown my letters,
Yep.
and her word was stowers, Stowers, which is not good, worsits.
Worsits.
And I totally blew it. I was, no, so you live and
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah,
But
the live and learn.
as
Wow.
soon as I showed that, I'm like, look at all these letters I got on my rack. See, you got this game easy. I mean, of course I'll challenge.
But
Too
as soon
late.
as you reveal the tile,
As soon
the
as I
game is
reveal the
over.
tiles, and she knew the rules, which was fair enough.
Yeah.
I should have known them too.
Yeah, that's tough. I
Yeah.
did know that rule and unfortunately had to rule on it before, but wow, that's a killer way to learn it too.
Yeah.
Hopefully those of
Well,
you who've stuck around on stream this whole time learned as soon as you reveal a tile, you cannot challenge the last play, no matter
yeah.
what.
You
You
can't
take
say,
them off
of
your
course
rack,
I'll
put them.
challenge, but
Yeah, that doesn't do it according to the rules. You may not make that challenge. Yeah, I was at the state championship, and that happened. I bingoed out against Chris Cree, and he revealed his tile, and then is like, "Well, I'll challenge," because it had me win by 1. I played wing like, and I was like, "Well, I hate to tell you this, but you can't. You can bring
yeah.
the director over, but I know the rule. You can't." And sure enough,
Yeah.
he was not allowed to. The word was good anyway. It was a moot point, but still, like, I'm sorry. Those are the rules.
I know you kind of hate to have to say that, but it is the truth.
The
Once
rules
you
are the
show those
rules.
tiles, game over, man.
Yeah, yeah. Crane's got some choices. Oh, you got to block a tromp at the top if that's a word. I know it's a baseball player. I think it's a Scrabble word too.
I'm sorry, were you even looking? TROMP?
Through the O and soldier.
Yeah, Trump is good, right?
Trump has to be
Yeah,
right.
sure. You
Chadwick Trump is a
it means
backup.
like tramp, Trump.
I don't like looking at those 4 letters in that order for other reasons, but we don't need to go there right now. um,
With you, buddy.
Yeah, Chadwick Tromp is a backup catcher in the Atlanta Braves system. So best name in baseball, Chadwick Tromp.
That is a lovely name.
Shout out to you, Chadwick, if you're listening. I'm sure you have no idea who I am, but
Oh.
yeah. So Pitt's going to come down, not Trump, and Crane can do something with his garbage, I guess. Actually, he has UI. Can he play DUI? No.
Or TUI?
Yes. Yes,
Oh, yeah,
there
there
it
it is.
is. DUI. Okay, good. All right, cool. Well, again, to those of you who hung out with us today, thanks for listening to us drivel on. Hope you learned something new. I know I certainly did. This will be our little preview of a lot more streaming to come on the 2023 North American Scrabble Association's. Hey, there he is. North American Scrabble Players Association Scrabble Championship. Shout out to my boy Chadwick Tromp. Oh, he's on the Giants now? Okay, he was on the Braves last year. But I guess he's just kind of been
And
around the ringer a few times.
and I say thank you too. And I also say, remember, it was my first time. So
Hey, we had fun. We learned a lot,
yeah.
and Scrabble always needs more voices out there. So thank you to you, Beth, for trying out. To anybody at home who's thought about doing some commentary, just get online and do it, man. Everybody likes to get on and watch videos or watch streams. Scrabble needs a big online presence, and especially Beth, I think it's great that you're doing this as a prominent female player too. Like we definitely need more female voices out in the game. So everybody out there, talk about Scrabble, do some fun stuff.
Yeah. Play Scrabble. Let's play Scrabble.
.com.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we will set our audience free. Again, shout out to Josh and to Sean.
Thanks,
Shout out
Josh.
to Beth and to Noah Slatkoff
Thanks,
doing
Matt.
scores behind the scene. Thanks
Thanks,
to
Noah.
everybody. And we'll see
And
y'all on the internet.
thanks to all the players. Take care,
Yeah.
everyone. Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.